The whole world's been wondering, what is Calvin football? Today, men, we get to show them. We get to show them what Calvin football is all about. And today, they get to hear it. Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
The inaugural season of Calvin Knights football is already transpiring better than most expected. In the first month of the season, Calvin has enjoyed a couple of dominating wins over Oberlin and Anderson to go along with a pair of heartbreaking losses to Concordia, Wisconsin and Kalamazoo College. With that 2-2 record, Calvin now faces its toughest test of the year. After 3 weeks on the road, the Knights return to Grand Rapids for an MIAA matchup with the two-time defending conference champion, the Alma Scots. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another exciting afternoon of NCAA college football. My name is Bob Sack, and along with color analyst Jason Hutton, we'll bring you all the play-by-play for today's first ever Calvin University homecoming football game live from Grand Rapids Christian High School in Southeast Grand Rapids. But first, it's the pregame show presented by Applied Innovation. Up next, Jason Hutton sits down with Calvin tight end Paul Bal IV to understand what the journey has been like for a player during Calvin's first season of football. Later, we'll go inside Calvin's plan for success presented by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management when we visit with Trent Figg to get his reflection on last week's game and his thoughts on today's matchup. That's all ahead on the pregame show presented by Applied Innovation, networking Calvin alums for 35 years. This is the Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Sports Radio and Talk 1230 WTKG.
The best part of grad school would be the connections that you make, not only with your cohort, but with the professors as well.
I felt very supported, and I don't feel alone in the program.
I just really feel like each individual in the program gets a relationship with the professors in a different way that's meaningful to them and is more geared to them.
I'm a grad student at Calvin University.
Yay! Okay.
I've wanted to be a teacher since I was in preschool. As a teacher, I know that I am called to not only make an impact on the students that I teach, but to help them come up with creative solutions to be change agents themselves that Calvin has instilled in me to be an agent of renewal in this world. And how can they help be a problem solver? How can they creatively come up with solutions to better not only the space that they are involved in, but the space that others are involved in as well?
We're here with Paul Bal IV, tight end for Calvin. And Paul, you know, you get into this, coming to Calvin, start up a whole new program. What were your expectations when you got here?
Yeah, expectations. And coming into that first year, I'll just talk about, yeah, it was a grind. We just had practices, right? So that was definitely an adjustment, not being able to play games. But expectations coming into this year, we wanted to win as many games as possible, right? And we look at every game in our schedule like we can go and win it. And we can, right? So that's the expectation, and yeah, I think we've done so well so far.
So you go through all of last year, not playing games, practicing, preparing. You bring in a whole new recruiting class. You get to the start of practice. What was the feeling like?
It was just pure joy. I mean, we were just so ready to get after it. It was a long year last year. It was great, but it was a long year of just practices, and we were just so pumped, so excited to be able to work towards a game, right, and get into a real season.
So from day one of camp to where we sit now, what has that experience been like? Not just for you, but this whole group.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'll say, obviously our returners were close from last year, but having the new guys come in, it's really been great to grow those relationships and to see how we've all come together as a team over the past 8 weeks or so. And then yeah, as we've gotten into games, it's just been great. It's just been really fun. Playing together as a team. We've been playing good football, and we're looking to keep getting better every day as we keep going forward.
You talked about how your goal is to win as many games as possible. I mean, we've seen football programs start a lot of times over the years, they generally struggle. I mean, you have all freshmen and sophomores mostly. I mean, two-year players, and you're playing against 22-year-old seniors.
Right.
How has the buy-in evolved with this group to believe that you guys can win games?
Yeah, I think it's really just been how we've shown it on the field throughout these first 4 games. We've shown that we can compete. We've shown that we can win games. Some games haven't gone our way. They've been close games, but those have been against good teams. And yeah, we're really just excited. We've proven it to ourselves, and we've proven it to everyone. And so, yeah, I think that belief just comes from that, I'd say.
So 4 games into the season, what is changed? What's different now with this team compared to way back at the beginning of training camp when maybe there was more uncertainty?
Yeah, I would say that we've gotten better every day coming up to now. You know, especially I'll talk from an offensive perspective. We were obviously very sloppy coming in because we've got guys that are learning the offense and going through all that. But throughout training camp, throughout these first few weeks, we've grown and we've cleaned a lot of things up. We've been able to implement new things every week. And yeah, I think it's shown on the field, and we're really happy with where we're at.
What has made this journey this season, very early still, what has made it the most fun? What gets you guys excited about what you've done and what you're doing?
I think the coolest thing is just the fact that I can think back on the fact that we're starting up a new program at Calvin University. I'm from Granville, Michigan, Calvin Christian. And so this has been, my mom went here, this has been a central part of Western Michigan. And I think it's really cool that we're able to just start a program. And the way we've done it and the way we're going to continue to do it, we're doing it the right way. So that's just really been the coolest part, I'd say.
I'm not being biased when I say this, but you guys have talent. I mean, yes, you're very young, but you guys have talented players. Did you always see that? At what point did this team maybe realize how good it could be?
Yeah, I mean, last year we obviously had some very talented players. I'd say with the group coming in that we had this year as well, it's we've got talent everywhere, like you said. And yeah, I think we all believe in ourselves and we believe in each other. More importantly, we have a trust in each other, and yeah, I think that's very important.
What's most important for you guys as you continue to grow, right? Because obviously there's a ton of room for growth with you guys being all so young, and you said you're getting better every day. How do you guys make sure you keep getting better here as we get going through the season?
Yeah, it's a long season, and we've already been seeing that so far. And I think it really comes down to the great job that the coaches are doing of instilling every day. We've got Turn 'em Up Tuesday, and a couple other sayings throughout the week. And I think just really focusing on every day, taking each day one at a time, and giving that your best effort. I think that's just the most important thing as we continue along this season.
Now, you don't have a stadium yet, but it's in the works, right? You're playing your home games at Grand Rapids Christian, but you have an unbelievable football building, a locker room.
Absolutely.
How exciting is that, and what do you enjoy most about that room that you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, last year it was not what we're in right now, right? And so it's really been just fun, just have a space, have your own big locker, and to have a space really to hang out. We can, listen to music, all that as a team. Even in between classes, we can go there and just relax and do all that. It's been just really a great blessing, and we're really thankful for it.
Obviously, you guys are in an interesting situation with the startup program, but you talked about how your guys' goal was to win as many games as possible. How goal-driven is this team, and do the goals change here 4 weeks into the season, or are they the same?
Yeah, no, our goals are the same. We want to keep winning as many games as possible, and we want to achieve what we know we're capable of achieving. Our goals don't change, right? We have everything that we have ahead of us, and yeah, we're really excited about that.
Awesome, Paul Bal IV. Appreciate your time. Good luck against Alma.
Appreciate it.
Join the next generation of global business leaders at Calvin University School of Business, offering 8 undergraduate majors and 2 master's degrees, and exceptional faculty with real-world experience who will partner with you and guide you along the way, and opportunities to participate in internships, study abroad programs, and hands-on learning experiences. This is Calvin University School of Business. Your future begins here.
I love working downtown Grand Rapids, being able to go to class and then come here and do work where the theory that I learned in the classroom really did apply.
I think the Calvin interns, they have this well-balanced background, right? I also think that Calvin does a really nice job preparing them in communication.
I think the Calvin Network is phenomenal, and that is a huge help of making me feel comfortable knowing that my education is preparing me super well for the rest of my life. So knowing that I can see people being successful in their lives who went through the same educational system as me is very encouraging.
At straightlinefences.com.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
The mission statement of our program is building champions for life. And I truly mean that when I say that. To me, there's two types of programs. There's transactional and there's transformational. And we are building a transformational football program here because we want our young men to leave prepared for the rest of their lives. And so when we talk about being champions, we talk about 4 different areas: in the classroom, in the community, on the field, and then champions of our faith. And all 4 pieces are so important to what we're doing.
Bob Sack alongside Jason Hutton getting you ready for kickoff here at Grand Rapids Christian in Southeast Grand Rapids. Kickoff for today's matchup is just minutes away. But first, as the Applied Innovation pregame show rolls on, we go inside Calvin's Plan for Success, presented by Skipper and Ostring Wealth Management. Earlier today, I sat down with Trent Figg for his thoughts on the first month of this season, last week's game, and the challenging task that is ahead today for the Knights against the Alma Scots. Welcome inside the Skipper and Ostring Planning for Success. Bob Sack alongside the head football coach at Calvin University, Trent Figg, joining us as we get set for this showdown Saturday afternoon with Alma College. 2-2 in the season. The non-conference is over. 1 MIAA game under the belt. 2 decisive victories, 2 heart-wrenching losses. What have you learned about the Calvin Knights after 4 weeks?
Yeah, what I've learned is our kids are resilient. I mean, I give all the credit to our kids, to our assistant coaches, and they've done a tremendous job. You know, we're 2-2 going into this, matchup today, and our kids are excited. I mean, our kids never back down. They never quit. You can see, I mean, we've had, in our 2 losses, we were down in the second half and came and gave ourselves a legitimate chance to win in the fourth quarter. Obviously we didn't win on paper, but man, our kids are resilient, they're tough, and they're here for it.
Last Saturday night, 33-31, heartbreaker at Kalamazoo in front of a raucous crowd. Just a great atmosphere for D3 football last Saturday night. I know you're coach, 24, 48 hours, you're moving on to the next week. But how many times and where did you say, if we would have done this or that last week?
Yeah.
Calvin would be 3-1 instead of 2-2.
Yeah, so I've moved on, but I really haven't. This one hurts. Like, that one hurts for our players, you know what I mean? Because they battled, and we finally took the lead with 2:13 left, and then we just couldn't hold on. At the end of the day, we talk all the time about how the Knights can't beat the Knights. We had 19 penalties for 174 yards. You can't do that, right? And so people can say whatever you want to say about officiating this, that. They called the penalties. They were penalties. And so we've got to eliminate that. And then we turned the ball over twice, and they didn't turn it over. So those are the 2 areas that if we take care of those 2 areas, that game probably looks differently at the end on paper.
One of the stellar performers last week was Chase Bradman.
Yep.
40 out of 54 through the air as your quarterback. He has been such a key part of this team, as a quarterback should.
For sure.
Let's talk about him for a minute. First of all, the macro aspect and what his leadership has brought as a graduate transfer to this new startup football program.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at our 2 deep, we're almost all freshmen, right? And so to have somebody that has the experience that Chase has, you can't replace that. I mean, when you look at the teams we're playing, that's where, people can say they may have the advantages from an experience standpoint, but our signal caller has experience, and so he's been to the playoffs. He has been, he's been in these games, and it's huge for our guys to be able to see a guy that's done it before. And Chase is just steady. He's never high or too low. He's just really steady.
And last week, 8 different receivers caught balls from Chase Bradman.
Yeah.
that part of that's by design,
Right.
I would assume, but part of it is it Chase spreading the wealth because he wants to get people involved?
Yeah, so I mean, Chase does a great job of taking what the defense gives him, and so we talk about that all the time with Chase. You take what the defense gives you, and so a lot of that's by design for multiple guys to get the football, and we're playing a whole bunch of different guys, you know, at receiver, at tight end right now, and Chase does just that. He takes what whatever the defense gives us, he's going to take.
He threw 54 times last year.
Yeah.
He threw 47 2 weeks ago in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
How many times a game do you really want Chase to throw? Because you and I talked earlier in the year, that's a lot of passes.
That's a lot. At the end of the day, we ran 110 plays, you know, and we want to be a very balanced offense. So if we run 110 plays, he may throw it 50 times. And, you know, we knew going into that game that's what it was going to take. We felt like our receivers, we had some, mismatch, things that we could take advantage of there. Obviously with Luke on the outside, and then Seth played a great game for us. And so, yeah, I mean, that's a lot. 54 is a lot, but Chase stepped up, and he's up for it.
We talked last week, Trent, before the Kalamazoo game, how last week Kalamazoo brought experience to the game.
Yeah.
Different than your freshman that you just
For
alluded
sure.
to. This week, it's a different opponent. Alma brings a ton of experience, but they've also parlayed that into 2 straight MIAA titles,
right?
A win in the NCAA playoffs. How good is this team, and where does that experience really shine through?
Yeah, so you can see with these guys on the O&D line, they're big and strong, and they play really physical. So, I think that experience is great for them. We talk all the time, if we want to be the best, we got to beat the best, right? And so our players are so excited for this game today because here it is. I mean, preseason, these guys, picked to win the league. Very solid team. They're coached really well. They have a great team culture. But, man, we're excited to go out there and play.
They're coming off a loss last week to Hope. How is this game a measuring stick for you?
Yeah, so for our guys, our whole mantra this year, it's all about us, right? And so for us, to look at it and measure one game against another, we talk about how the game today is the most important game of the year. The last Saturday was the most important game of the year. After the bye week in 2 weeks, it'll be the most important game of the year. So we're taking them one by one. We talk all the time about we completely unload the chamber on Saturday, we reload it all week long, and then unload it again.
A lot of guys have to play well tonight.
Yeah.
Today, this is a really tough opponent.
Yep.
Is there 1 or 2 position groups that you're going to say to yourself, they have got to take it to another level for Calvin to have a chance in this?
For sure. It's always going to be about our offense and defensive line to start with. That's where this game will start. And when you look MIAA play, that's what our league is built on, offense and defensive line. So both sides of the ball up front, we've got to play really well.
All right, good luck today. Should be a dandy. Homecoming crowd. Can't wait for it.
Appreciate it. Go Knights.
That's the Skipper and Osterink Planning for Success with Coach Trent Figg. When the Lake Michigan Credit Union pregame show rolls on, we'll talk more about this matchup today with Alma. You're watching Calvin Knights football on the Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Sports Radio and Talk AM 1230 WTKG.
The best part of grad school would be the connections that you make, not only with your cohort, but with the professors as well.
I felt very supported, and I don't feel alone in the program.
I just really feel like each individual in the program gets a relationship with the professors in a different way that's meaningful to them and is more geared to them.
I'm a grad student at Calvin University. Yay, okay.
I've wanted to be a teacher since I was in preschool. As a teacher, I know that I am called to not only make an impact on the students that I teach, but to help them come up with creative solutions to be change agents themselves. That Calvin has instilled in me to be an agent of renewal in this world. And how can they help be a problem solver? How can they creatively come up with solutions to better not only the space that they are involved in, but the space that others are involved in as well?
Welcome back inside Grand Rapids Christian High School Eagles Stadium on the Applied Innovation pregame shows. We're counting down to kickoff between Calvin and Alma. Time now to welcome in the third member of our broadcast team. Down on the field is Calvin Junior Communications Major Levi Suter. He's got a sense for the energy with this big homecoming crowd. Levi?
Thanks, Bob. Here we are with the Rowdy Knights student section, ready to cheer for the maroon and gold. These guys are ready. They've been waiting since Thursday night at 9 p.m. to be here here for the game to cheer for the Calvin Knights. These students had folding chairs, they had snacks, they had homework ready to be here on Saturday. These students are a part of Calvin football history too. They're so excited to be here. They're going to be telling their children and grandchildren about Hunter Hogan, the first man to score a touchdown here at Calvin. These students have a social opportunity to grow with these football games, and it gives them a break from having homework and studying on Saturdays. Speaking of school history, the Calvin's first marching band, the Marching Knights, will be performing today at halftime, led by Dr. Steve Suddeth. For the first time,
All right, thank you, Levi, for that. A lot of excitement here at this homecoming crowd. First ever homecoming football game for Calvin University. Levi, thanks for your work. Kickoff is next. This is the Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Sports Radio. Talk 1230 WTKG. Stay with us. Jason and I will break down today's football game when we return.
At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. World-class faculty empower students to go beyond what they ever thought possible. As Christ's agents of renewal in the world, Calvin University, go beyond.
Mosquitoes outnumber humans by like 1,000,000 to 1. So who are you giving your blood to? The humans or the mosquitoes? It's us versus them. And I think they're winning. So donate blood with Versity Blood Center of Michigan today.
I love working downtown Grand Rapids, being able to go to class and then come here and do work where the theory that I learned in the classroom really did apply.
I think the Calvin interns, they have this well-balanced background, right? I also think that Calvin does a really nice job preparing them in communication.
I think the Calvin Network is phenomenal, and that is a huge help of making me feel comfortable knowing that my education is preparing me super well for the rest of my life. So knowing that I can see people being successful in their lives who went through the same educational system as me is very encouraging.
The mission statement of our program is building champions for life. And I truly mean that when I say that. To me, there's two types of programs. There's transactional and there's transformational. And we are building a transformational football program here because we want our young men to leave prepared for the rest of their lives. And so when we talk about being champions, we talk about 4 different areas: in the classroom, in the community, on the field, and then champions of our faith. And all 4 pieces are so important to what we're doing.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
The whole world's been wondering, what is Calvin football? Today, men, we get to show them. We get to show them what Calvin football is all about. And today, they get to hear it. Champions on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Back here at Grand Rapids Christian, Bob Sack alongside Jason Hutton as the first ever performance by the Calvin University Marching Band here in the pregame show concludes. We're just moments away from kickoff, about to go down on the field and be joined by the Calvin Alumni Choir for today's national anthem. Jason, welcome to the broadcast booth today. Great to be back with you. Looking forward to a terrific Saturday afternoon of college football.
Yeah, it's exciting to be here. First ever homecoming game for Calvin. First ever home MIAA game. Looking for their first conference win. So much fun.
Let's get onto the field where the Calvin Alumni Choir is set to bring us today's national anthem.
This afternoon is the Calvin University Alumni Choir under the direction of Mr. Sean Ivory.
It's the Calvin Alumni Choir with today's national anthem on an absolutely gorgeous, spectacular Saturday afternoon. Storm Team 8 weather calls for sunny skies, mid-70s. And Jason, great day for football for two teams that have, well, played football a little bit different in length. Alma started football in 1894. Calvin started it 5 weeks ago. More recent history, though, has these two teams coming off interesting, tough losses last week. Let's go down to talk about Calvin first. Heart-wrenching 33-31 loss at Kalamazoo last Saturday night. How do the Knights bounce back today?
Well, that's what's going to be interesting to see. How will this team respond to a really tough loss? I thought they played really well. You know, they outgained K College. They had 535 yards total offense, 100 total plays to just 62. They did pretty much everything they wanted except win the football game. They couldn't come up with a big play there late. So how do they respond? That's what this game's really going to be all about, because Alma also trying to respond after they got beat pretty good at home by Hope College. So which team responds better? That's what we'll be watching for.
Bit of a shocker last week in Alma. Hope comes into Alma. Two teams both receiving really the top billing in the MIAA. Hope opens up a 31-0 halftime lead, cruises to a 34-13 win. How much did that surprise you?
Well, it really surprised me. We do our weekly high school football picks, and we threw Alma Hope in there last week, and I picked Alma. There were a couple of people that picked Hope, and they were right. I mean, Peter Sturzman and the Flying Dutchman, they were ready to go last week, and Alma had a 12-game MIAA winning streak, two-time defending champs, and they got to put two of them on their home court, on their home field.
So Alma comes in at 2-2. They've lost, obviously, to Hope, and then a earlier tough loss to Wisconsin River Falls, a highly rated D3 team. Scots have dropped out of the national rankings. Started the season top 10. Have now are at a point where they're 28th, just receiving votes. They are a team, though, that is extremely dangerous, and really, I think, a measuring stick for Calvin today. I mean, Calvin's 2-2. The wins over Oberlin and Anderson are outstanding victories for a first-year program. Heartbreaking losses. This is a Calvin team that will be tested at a new level today. How much of a, where's the measuring stick as you watch the Knights today?
Well, that's kind of the theme of this season, right, is Calvin trying to find out where they are as a new program. Because as we know, it takes time. Nobody just starts a season and goes undefeated. Calvin's 2-2. Last week, first MIAA contest. We knew the non-conference schedule was what it was. Boy, outgaining Kalamazoo right down to the wire against a 4-0 Kalamazoo team. You know, they're right there. But Alma's is notch up. Even at 2-2, the Scots they were a national quarterfinalist a year ago. So this is now we're really going to find out. But, you know, it's week 5. And this is where depth becomes an issue when you have a bunch of young guys. And now you're leaning on some true freshmen because you're starting to get injured, just like everybody around the country is. But when you have that depth, that really starts to come into focus here as we get to the middle of the season.
And that's what Alma has. This is a team that as recent as 3-4 years ago had losing records. They did it with some guys who were young at the time, stuck with those kids throughout the last couple years, and the result is 2 straight MIAA championships. They're led by a quarterback from Indianapolis, Carter St. John, who was an All-American last year. He is a dual-threat guy, clearly the best quarterback Calvin will see this year.
Just a fun player to watch. He's one of those guys who ends up at Alma because he's not very big, but watch him play football. I mean, the dude is electric, and it's going to be Calvin's challenge today to try to contain him. Hope got him uncomfortable last week. Sometimes he plays better when he's uncomfortable, but you're going to have to continue to get in his face and make him do things he does not want to do to have any kind of success today.
Here come the Knights in front of this sellout crowd here at Grand Rapids Christian, led on the field by their captains Paul Bal and Chase Bradman, and they're ready to go here today. Offensively for Calvin, Jay, I think this is a game where Calvin can move the ball. You talked earlier off the air, we talked about how Hope had success last week against Alma running the ball. How do you see that playing out for the Knights today?
Well, Hope ran it right at Alma with a lot of success. They started on the edges, then as the game wore on, they started hitting them in the middle, and they did it with a 235-pound running back. So Calvin has not been great running the football through 4 weeks. They've been a better passing team with Chase Bradman and his great wide receivers. I think the secondary of Alma Alma is an area that the Knights can and should attack. We'll see how that plays out, but they certainly have to mix in the run and be a balanced offense to have success.
For Calvin, they've ran the ball well with Jair Harden, the transfer from Davenport. He has averaged almost 100 yards a game in the 4 games. But you like Jackson Cook today as a guy who you think will be more successful against Alma.
Yeah, I just thought Chance Strickland for Hope College last week was successful getting upfield, and that's more a Jackson's Cook game. He doesn't have the high-end speed of a Jair Harden. He doesn't have the wiggle of a Harden, but he can get north and south with the best of them, and I think that's the best way to run the football against this Alma team, at least what I saw last week against Hope.
Alma has won the toss. They have elected to defer to the second half. That means the Scots will kick it off. Both teams bring their 2-2 records here on this spectacular Saturday afternoon into Grand Rapids. Russell Ronan Dixon deep for the Knights, along with Jake Neuhaus to receive the kickoff from the Alma Scots. Alma, as Jason said, last year unbeaten in the MIAA.
They weren't even really challenged. I mean, their closest game was 18 points in conference last year.
Teeing it up is Will Cillier, the kicker, freshman from Frankenmuth. He has it on the tee, and we are ready to go for the first ever Calvin University homecoming football game. The ball skitters into the end zone, out of play. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights at the 25. Calvin's offensive backfield today brought to you by Mercantile Bank. Of course, Chase Bradman is the 5'10", 190-pound graduate transfer quarterback out of South Christian. His tight end is 6'2", 230-pound freshman, sophomore Carter Balsma, transferring from Dort. Wide receiver Seth Ritzma, he'll wear number 6 from South Christian. Hunter Hogan, number 7, and Luke Mishmerheisen, number 18. 1st and 10 for the Knights at their own 25. Harden gets to start at running back. Bradman out of the gun, swings it out to him, open in the right flat. Gain out over the 30 to the 32, ushered there out of bounds.
Well, that's what I like right there. Get Harden the ball in space right there. Nice little play call to kind of get this thing started. Get number 0 the football in the flat, make a play. Excellent gain on 1st down for the Knights.
Marshawn Massenberg ushered him out for Alma. Bradman with an RPO, swings it out to Hogan in the left flat. He's near the 1st down, but slung down at the 34-yard line along the right sideline. Ryan West corralled him there.
A lot of local talent.
3rd down and a yard to go.
Sorry, Bob. A lot of local talent in this game. Ryan West played for Gus Kapolka at Cedar Springs. Excellent play in open space there. You get Hunter Hogan the ball. That's what you want if you're Calvin.
Bradman looks at that 4-man Scots front, turns, gives to Harden. He's got a hole over the right side. Enough for the 1st down, out over the 35 to about the 38.
Nice job by Harden there, just getting upfield, getting the 1st down in that short yardage situation.
Wrapped up by Evan Eastman. 1st and 10 at the 39 for the Knights. Just underway here with 13:54 to go in the 1st quarter. Empty backfield for Bradman. Over the middle, two behind Carter Balsma. Had him open on a quick slant route, but just whipped it behind the big tight end. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
I like the concept. Harden in the flat here. You get the linebackers thinking that, then you attack him in the middle with Bilesma. We saw last week how Bilesma can catch the football. Very athletic. The big fella, I like getting 81 involved here early.
On 2nd and 10 from the 39. The ball at the left hash. Harden in motion now off the right hip of Bradman. Bradman fakes to him, back to throw. Has the ball tipped as he threw it over the middle, intended for Mishmerheisen. Getting a big paw on it for Alma was
Evan Eastman again.
Jordan Williams. No, it wasn't Jordan Williams. Not sure who got their hand up on that, but at any rate, incomplete.
Looked like Evan Eastman to me, big 48, who's making an impact here on this series.
Eastman is their team leader in sacks. The defensive end, a player to watch for the Scots. 3rd and 10. Bradman, empty backfield. Time to throw over the middle. He's got his man Ritzma, but he couldn't hang on right at the 1st down marker at the 49. Incomplete. And the Knights will have to boot it away.
That time, Caden Berg, the right tackle for Calvin, did a nice job one-on-one with Eastman, giving Bradman time to throw. Nice job by Bradman sitting in the pocket. They just couldn't quite connect there. And now the defense will be forced to go out there and take on Carter St. John.
Logan Knapp on to punt, standing at his own 25.
Special team's going to be huge, right? Field position's everything. Calvin kicking into a little breeze here. A little bit of breeze down there on the field when we were coming in.
Knapp delivers a high, lazy spiral that'll hit at the 35 and take a neutral bounce. 1st and 10 there from the 33-yard line. By the way, this afternoon's kickoff featured a game ball delivery from Calvin student Sammy DeKuyper, a junior kinesiology major from Rockford, Michigan. Today's kickoff brought to you by Mercantile Bank, featuring Merc Perks Plus checking. From the 32, Carter St. John, the All-American, sets up shop on 1st and 10. Play action pass goes deep down the right side. A lot of contact, and they'll throw a flag on Dylan DeHoop. He was stride for stride with Devin Frenchko, the All-American wide receiver. A little too much bumping by DeHoop on the first play.
Well, you can see what Alma College wants to do. They're going to attack with their guys. I mean, Devin Frenchko is outstanding. You get one-on-one coverage with DeHoop, and they're going deep on the first play. Watch for him and Lauderman. They're outstanding receivers, as good as you'll see in the MIAA.
Frenchko, a 6'1", 180-pound senior out of St. Joseph's. 14 touchdown receptions in 2023. Already caught 10 passes and 3 touchdowns this year.
And that's kind of where I think Calvin's receivers are on their way to. This Lauderman-Frenchko combination is lethal. I mean, Calvin's got some freshmen that I think are going to be on their way to that level.
The running back off to the left of Carter St. John is Jordan Williams, a sophomore from Clarenceville. St. John takes the snap on 1st and 10 from the Calvin 47. A whistle blows the play dead. Referee Dave Driscoll conferring.
They were running Frenchko deep again. Looked like that time Paul Vanderploeg was over there. They were going to send help, which I think will be necessary against this receiver tandem.
Oh, I see what the whistle was for, Jay. They marked off that penalty 5 yards on the pass interference further than it should have been. It was marked as a 20-yard penalty, and that's a 15-yard pass interference call. So the referee resets the chains from the Calvin 47, 1st and 10 for the Scots. Jordan Williams, the running back. He'll take the handoff running to his right, wrapped up right there by Isaiah Hill, who closed the hole quickly on that left defensive end. No gain for Jordan Williams.
Yeah, excellent job by the defensive line for Calvin. I was impressed with them last week against Kalamazoo College. They didn't allow much on the ground, and that's a good start there.
2nd and 9 from the 48. Lauderman split to the left. Play action. St. John to throw. Plenty of time. Guns at right sideline. Complete to Brock Miller at the 42. Pushed out of bounds by DeHoop and Trevor Mertens. That moves the chains. They'll mark him out at the 40. 1st and 10 for Alma in plus territory.
Yeah, a lot of time for St. John to throw. He's not necessarily a pocket passer. He's a guy that can get out and hurt you, but he stood in the pocket there, made a good throw.
On 1st down, the give is to Jordan Williams, who gets to the outside on the left, turns the corner inside the 35 down to the 32. Finally run out of bounds by Jair Nolan. Picked up 8. And right now, the Scots are moving here in the first quarter with 12:23 to go.
But good job by Alma setting the edge there. They got the corner, and Williams able to get around. Big gain there on 2nd down.
On 2nd and 8, 3 receivers to the right. Jordan Williams has it again, pounds his way over left tackle. And he'll have a 1st down at the 28. Vanderploeg and Carson Schnurstein made the stop. Jordan Williams shares that backfield role with Eddie Williams, no relation. They have both pick up quite a bit of carries here today. On 1st and 10, quick slant. St. John delivers it just behind the tight end, Colin Coffey, at the 23 on a quick seam route. The right hash incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 28.
That's one thing about St. John at 5'9". Hope had some success last week getting hands up and getting passes deflected. That time, the throw goes behind the receiver.
Eddie Williams now the running back into St. John's left on 2nd and 10 from the Calvin 28 at the left hash. The give is to Eddie Williams. Big crease over the right side. He spurts his way inside the 25 to the 23. Trevor Mertens slid over to upend him there. Gain of 5. Call it 6. 3rd down and 4. Big 3rd down play here for the Calvin defense.
We'll see how that Calvin linebacker crew plays. Of course, no Charlie Grabowski again this week because of injury. Schnurstein stepping up. Mertens stepping up.
The give is to Eddie Williams, and knifing behind to drop him is KJ Harp for a loss of 2 back to the 25.
Well, big play that time by Harp, coming up right over the nose and getting Williams before he could get started. That's a good series there by Calvin. Going to hold Alma to a field goal attempt.
Josh Hernandez on to attempt a field goal. The senior from Detroit Cass Tech Off the spot from Davin Reef at the 31. It'll be a 41-yarder. Snap is good. Kick is on its way, and it is good. Josh Hernandez just squeezes it over the over the crossbar, and with 10:47 to go, Alma jumps on top, 10-0, or rather 3-0. Time now for Planning for Success, presented by Skipper and Ostrink Wealth Management. Today's Calvin athlete planning for success is Trevor Martins. Trevor's a linebacker from Hudsonville. He's a redshirt freshman and a member of the Dean's List, holding a grade point average of 3.5. That's Planning for Success, presented by Skipper and Ostrink Wealth Management, providing the financial clarity, solutions, and service that allow you to focus on what you care about most. Good drive for the Scots, but for Calvin, the defense stiffens and they force a field goal.
Yeah, 3-0. Now we get the offense back out there. 1 first down on their first possession. Like to see them get a little something more going here on this second possession. Learn from the first one. See if they can get that passing game going a little bit. We'll see if we see, Calvin has planned rotations on offense and defense. And we saw the receivers rotating through. Jude Klender, not necessarily a starter, had a big game last week at Kalamazoo, so we'll see what some of these other guys can do when they get a chance to get out there on the field.
Will Souliere has it teed up at the 35, kicking deep again to Russell Ronan Dixon and Jake Neuenhuis.
Ronan Russell Dixon's done a good job returning kicks. He did a good job last week at Kalamazoo. I think he's maybe the 3rd string running back at this point, but taking advantage of his opportunities where he gets them.
Averaging 20 yards a boot. He's not going to have a chance on this one, as that wind, Jason, is blowing pretty strong from right to left and south to north, and Souliere hounds it through the end zone. 1st and 10 again at the 25 for Calvin. Let's set that Mercantile Bank offensive line starting lineup. Witten Napier, left tackle, freshman from Whitehall. Braden Steinbacher, left guard, the freshman from Sparta. Mike Liggett up over the ball, the freshman from Rockford at center. Morgan Martinez at right guard, freshman from Walled Lake Western, and Andrew Berg, the freshman from South Lyon. That's today's starting offensive line for Calvin.
Interesting.
Mercantile Bank, offering a wide range of personal account options to meet your needs.
We see Napier's been playing right guard. He stays there. That's where he played the first series. And they're going Hugo Vanderwall left tackle, which we saw a lot of Vanderwall against Kalamazoo last week.
On 1st and 10, Bradman will keep it around the right side. Sheldon Huff threw him to the ground at the right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard gain for Chase.
Buddy Hogan was in the vicinity as well for that Alma College defense. Of course, he played his high school football right here at Eagle Stadium for Don Fellows and Grand Rapids Christian.
From the 26, 2nd and 9, Bradman back to throw, flushed out. Look out, he's going to be sacked, and coughs it up at the 22-yard line, but alertly falling on the ball was Hugo Vanderwall, who's in a left tackle, and Bradman averts disaster there. The fumble is recovered back at the 22, so a loss of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 12 now for Bradman.
Chase Bradman is a tough kid. He took a shot there. He was a little slow to get up, but he's not interested in coming out of the game.
2 receivers to the right. Bradman out of the gun. Guns it. Left flat. Behind Seth Ritzma. I think he thought Ritzma was running an out route. Jason Ritzma turned in, and the ball fell incomplete at the marker. So again, Calvin forced to punt with that 3 and out.
Yeah, Alma getting pressure there, and that forced Bradman to throw it a little sooner than he wanted. Preston Marlott, the safety, was coming on a blitz, and Bradman had to get rid of it. I thought Ritzma had some space, but unfortunately they couldn't connect there, and that's a 3 and out.
Logan Knapp back on to punt against this strong breeze. Good snap, boots it away from the 10. Low end over end kick's going to hit at the 50. Take a nice roll all the way down to the 33. So a good punt that time of 49 yards by Logan Knapp. He comes in averaging 38, and that'll help out his average there and flip the field to the 33-yard line.
Well, 19 penalties last week, Bob. That was obviously a huge story in that 2-point loss at Kalamazoo. A big play, the first play from scrimmage here for Alma in the first quarter was a 15-yard pass interference penalty. That the big play on Alma's way to that opening field goal.
Interesting, too, Jason. Alma comes into the game having their opponents averaging 10 penalties a game. So it's a good football team, and sometimes when you're good, you force the opponent into some infractions, and the Scots have a way of doing that. 1st and 10 from their own 33. Here's a reverse. Williams pitches it to The wide receiver coming around on that reverse, which was Devin Frenchko, picked up about 5. Dylan DeHoop ran him out of bounds, a 5-yard gain. A little trickery there early on for Jason.
Yeah, well, Calvin's linebackers were aggressive, right? And you're trying to take advantage of an aggressive defense. DeHoop, though, able to make the play from the corner.
Second and 5. St. John's flushed out, going deep down the left sideline now. He's got a man. It is caught at the 20-yard line, and taking it in for the score is Zachary Poff, the wide receiver. A 62-yard touchdown pass. Pretty good coverage down that left side, but the DB got turned around, and Poff made a great adjustment to make that catch, and the 5'9" junior from Ithaca hauled it in for his second TD of the year.
Well, that's where tempo comes into play a factor there. Alma going pretty quickly here. Calvin got a little confused in the secondary. Poff got behind everybody, and the throw wasn't perfect, but it was good enough for the touchdown. Swinging gate on the extra point, Bob, didn't work. They decided to run a play instead of shut the gate, and it's no good.
PAT is no good. That leaves the score 9-0. That scoring drive presented by Paris Motors covered 67 yards in just 2 plays, consuming just 40 seconds. Find your next drive at Paris Motors, a fantastic selection of used cars to meet your specs and budget here in Grand Rapids. Well, today is homecoming here at Calvin, and a great number of alums joining us today. One of them is downstairs with Levi Suter. Steve Ritzma standing by with Levi. Levi, take it away.
Thanks, Bob. I'm here with Steve Ritzma, and this is a Calvin alum that's has a huge vast experience in Calvin athletics. He's a multi-time all-conference member, and he's here to watch his son play football here on homecoming weekend. How does it feel to be back on homecoming weekend and be able to watch your son play football here at Calvin?
Well, it's great because we never had football. So to have homecoming during a football game here at Calvin University is just so exciting. And to be able to come and watch your son play even makes it more exciting.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Steve. We'll throw it back to you, Bob.
Ritzma, the proud father of Seth Ritzma, the wide receiver. Steve, a former 4-year star on the Calvin baseball team, also played golf. I'm still trying to figure that out, Jason. How can a guy play golf and baseball in the same season? But Ritzma found a way to do it.
Well, it used to be a time where golf was in the fall. Of course, in college, golf is fall and spring, so it gets a little tricky, but Steve's a talented dude.
Well, basically what you're saying is Steve's really old.
No, not at all.
And back then, you could do those types of things, right? All right. Nice need to get some offense going here. They trail 9-0 with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. Jackson Cook into the game. Now running back, he'll take the handoff and slash his way over right guard for gain out to the 29.
Got to be real careful if you're here, Calvin. Last thing you do now is go 3 and out. You're down 2 scores. You need to keep the offense on the field.
Sheldon Huff chopped him down there. Gain of 4. They fake to him this time, and Bradman will keep it around left end, but he is hemmed in nicely at a good defensive play. Coming up to make that stop, Jared Dykelboer from that DB spot. Upended Bradman. Now 3rd and 4 to 31. The ball at the left hash. Knights need to move the chains, get that defense a little bit of a rest. Bradman out of the gun. He'll roll to his right. Everybody's well covered. Slings it right sideline over the head of Jude Klunder at the 41-yard line. Good coverage on the play by Bryce Fredenberg, the all-conference safety, who slid over to bracket the receiver Klunder, and another 3 and out. Logan Knapp on to kick it away.
Yeah, Paul Bal, the 4th, is in at tight end. He was running an out, and they were running Jude Klunder on the corner behind him. But Bradman, again, just doesn't have time to throw the football and had to rush it. Threw it high and outside to avoid any chance of an interception, and now Knights have to punt.
Logan Knapp will boot it away from his own 15. End over end kick into that wind. Hits at the 43, and once again, Carter St. John with really good field position. Hey, enrollment at Calvin University continues to climb. For the 2nd straight year, Calvin is experiencing a double-digit percentage uptick in its first-year class. The 1,200 new students represent undergraduate and graduate learners from dozens of states and 46 countries around the world. Discover why Calvin is in demand. Schedule a visit at calvin.edu/visit. From the 41, Carter St. John with that 62-yard touchdown strike to his wide receiver, Zach Poff. On first down, it's Khalil Brown into the game now at running back. He's hit at the 47, coughed up the football, but they'll say he was down. Gain of 5 by the third running back we've seen already, Khalil Brown, the sophomore out of Birch Run.
Well, the tight end Colin Coffey, who's lined up as an H-back on that play. Great block on Gabe Amid that really sprung that play for Alma.
4-man rush. St. John back to throw out of the gun. A lot of time. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to take off. Makes a juke move on Vanderploeg at the 45 and then sprints towards the sideline inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. That's what we know Carter St. John can do.
Yep.
Caden Kolanowski finally ran him out of bounds.
Paul Vanderploeg just found out exactly what Carter St. John, why he's been the top quarterback in the MIAA. That was an outstanding move in the open field by St. John. Huge gain. And that's what he can do. You want to get him out there if you're Alma and give him that option.
He is a playmaker, averages 4 yards a carry, as well as his 60% passing efficiency as well. Thrown for 13 TDs already this year and has run for a couple as well. 1st and 10 for the Scots, the Knights 28. Handoff to Brown. Probes his way running to the left inside the 30 down to the 27, upended by Kolanowski. Gain of 5. Tell you what, Jay, they're getting yards on first down.
Yeah, you can see why Alma's been so successful in recent years. I mean, their ability to be balanced, run, throw, and the way they can mix it in has been effective here in this first quarter.
Here's a reverse. They fake the reverse this time. St. John will throw it to Coffey, the tight end, with a sliding grab outside the numbers at the 14.
I have never seen that play. Direct snap to Williams. He hands it to St. John, who fakes the reverse, throws to the tight end. If he could have let him, he probably could have been a touchdown.
Noah Funk stayed home, at least to prevent the touchdown. Quick run pass option on 1st and 10. St. John's guns it towards the goal line, intended for Braden Sullivan, over his head, incomplete.
Good job of coverage that time by Brady Jacobs. You know, they're trying to get man-to-man. They got it there, but Jacobs in good position, and the throw out of reach.
6:11 to go in the first quarter. 2nd down and 10 for Alma at the 16. Lauderman split wide to the left side. Handoff to Williams, big hole right up the gut, spins out of a tackle at the 10 and then falls forward inside the 7. Kolanowski again. It's not good when your safety, Jason's making a lot of tackle, and Kalen Kolanowski's been a busy guy in the first quarter. Alma goes up tempo on 3rd and 2 inside the 10. They give us to Williams. Works the right side, now cuts back toward the middle and has the first down inside the 5 to the 3.
Well, what we're seeing is that offensive line at Alma College. 3 juniors, a senior, and a sophomore going against all these Calvin freshmen right now. And they're just leaning on them, dominating the line of scrimmage and running the football.
Calvin yielding 9 yards a play right now, so it has been a very effective Alma offense. 1st and goal at the 4 for the Scots. Davin Reef, the backup quarterback, into the game for this package. They give us to Eddie Williams. He plows over the right side into the end zone. No signal yet. It is touchdown. Alma Scots take a 15-0 lead on another very efficient drive.
Well, that right drive was all about running the football. That time Alma just said, we're just going to go right between the tackles, outside of that little razzle-dazzle on the pass to the tight end. Most of that was just running between the tackles and leaning on their offensive line.
Hernandez on for the boot. Pounds it through. And it is good. 16-0. Alma on top. With 5:16 to go here in the first quarter. Let's go around the MIAA today, brought to you by NAI Wasinski of West Michigan, West Michigan's largest independently owned commercial real estate firm. Jason, some interesting games today. Just underway. Adrian's at Albion. Also just kicking off is Tryon at Hope. And then at 2 o'clock, Kalamazoo visits Olivet. And you like the best game of the day, Adrian and Albion.
Yeah, Adrian and Albion, both winners last week to start conference play. You know, Albion traditionally has been at the top of the MIAA. Adrian at 4-0 this year, trying to get themselves into that conversation. Of course, Hope looks like the team to beat after what they did at Alma last week. They'll be big favorites at home today against Tryon, but I think that Adrian Albion game ought to be interesting.
84 is on the air. Back to kick.
16-0, Alma, and Calvin has yet to pick up a first down here this afternoon. This is a critical series for this offense. The Knights have taken a punch to the mouth to open this football game here, and they've got to respond offensively.
Yeah, consecutive 3-and-outs.
Roullier's kickoff bounds down to the 3. Russell Ronan Dixon grabs it, darts right up the middle of the field, cuts it outside and gets to the 28-yard line, where Isaac Vinson tripped him up there. 1st and 10 from the 29. Today's broadcast is sponsored by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, Capital and Risk Management Services has supported Knight Nation's financial and risk management needs with strategic solutions for a secure tomorrow. Reach out to Russ Clausing at 312-458-4523. That's Capital and Risk Management Services. From the 28, Chase Bradman, 1st and 10. Quick pitch to Jair Harden, tries to get to the edge on the left side. Now reverses his field all the way to the right, outside the numbers along the sideline. And he's pushed out of bounds, finally at the 38-yard line by Marshawn Massenberg. How about that for Jair Harden, making something out of nothing?
Well, that's what he can give you. They're trying to set up the student body to the left. They had Mitch Merheisen and Jude Klunder in the H-back formation there. They're just trying to run by a whole bunch of guys. Alma blew it up, but Harden's able to come back all the way to the other side of the field and get 10 yards out of the play.
Injured Knight, check that injured Scott on the field. That last touchdown drive, summary presented by Paris Motors, covered 59 yards and 8 plays and 254, capped off by Eddie Williams' 4-yard TD run. Find your next drive at Paris Motors, a fantastic selection of used cars to meet your specs and budget here in Grand Rapids. Well, you know, we talked with Trent Figg earlier in the week about Jair Harden, and yeah, he said, I got to have Jair run more. You said, I got to have Jair run more north and south. And Trent says, yeah, he's got to hit the hole harder. Well, his natural inclination to go east and west turned out pretty well.
Yeah, it worked really good. You know, it's going to be interesting to see the cohesiveness of this offensive line for Calvin. These are planned rotations. They go into the games knowing they're going to do this. We see big Bryce Perko, number 79, in at right tackle. Now Morgan Martinez, who's the listed starter, is now back in there at right guard. We didn't see Quentin Napier on the last series, but Napier is back in there on this series. So these are planned rotations by the Calvin coaching staff, with trying to get all these different guys looks here and trying to find out what they have. And right now, Calvin trying to get that offensive line all working together and create some holes for these running backs.
All right, still an injured Scott. We'll take a quick break on the Calvin Sports Network.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
1st and 10 from the 39. Harden's got it again, dancing behind the line. Held on with a good ankle tackle right there at the line of scrimmage. Bryce Fredenberg from his safety spot came up to make that stop. Gain of maybe a yard by Jair Harden.
Klunder on the jet motion. You're trying to get a little eye candy there for the linebackers. They didn't bite on it, though.
Play action. Bradman back to throw, now flushed out, running for his life to his left. Overthrows Ritzma at the left sideline. Good coverage by Ryan West at the 50-yard line, so it's 3rd and long again. And Calvin's really been plagued by these 3rd and long situations here in the first half.
Yeah, they keep getting off schedule, behind the chains here. And Chase Bradman's been scrambling a lot. And I know he's good at that. That's part of his game, but he has not had time to throw the football here much tonight.
He sends 2 receivers out to the left side, the wide side. Takes the shotgun snap, rolls to his left, finds an open receiver. Klunder at the 48 in Alma territory, and another first down for the Knights. Ryan Kugelman retreated from his linebacker spot to bring down Jude Klunder, but Jude Klunder's really emerged as an outstanding freshman. 8 catches last week at Kalamazoo, 15 on the year, and he moves the chains for the Knights.
We talked to Trent Figg, and he's really pleased with Klunder, and you can see it. He's getting more and more playing time.
He's got it again on an RPO to the right. Races the defender to the sideline at the 40-yard line where Massenberg ushered him out. Gain of 5 on that quick out pass RPO from Bradman to Klunder.
And everything changes when you get a first down. Right now you get a little tempo, you get going a little quicker. Here you feel some momentum for Calvin, and they need it.
Alma lined up as the H-back to the left. Play fake to Harden. Back to throw is Bradman, and he is tipped as he throws, and then he was hit by the on-rushing Matt Oswald. And I think, Jay, they're going to get Matt Oswald for roughing the passer as he nailed Bradman after he had tipped that ball.
Yeah, I agree. That's going to be the call. Evan Eastman, again, making his presence felt, deflecting the pass. He's played an excellent first quarter here for Alma. But you're right, it was Oswald hitting Bradman, maybe to the head or late, but that's going to be a break for the Knights.
No question about it. That's the first penalty on Alma.
Oh, they called Eastman. I didn't see Eastman hit him. I saw Eastman deflect the ball.
Evan Eastman from Hastings, another nearby prep standout. 6'6", 240. He's that prototype big, rangy defensive end, isn't he?
One of about 500 Eastmans that came out of Hastings that can really play football.
Big penalty, moves the ball to the 25. Calvin trying to mount a drive here on 1st and 10. Harden inside handoff. Squeezes his way for maybe a yard. Ryan Kugelman there to knock him down. Kugelman with 27 tackles coming into this game. Second leading tackler. Gain of just a yard. Again, 2nd and long. Bunch formation to the right. Bradman fakes to Harden, straight back to throw, looks over the middle. He's got Bilesma, but Bilesma couldn't hang on down at the 10. The coverage was there by Fredenberg, and he was open.
Yeah, and that time, excellent protection by the Calvin offensive line. A great pocket for Bradman, and just couldn't get it over the linebacker there. Linebacker coming underneath to make the play there. Couldn't squeeze it in a very tight window.
Big 3rd down here from the 24-yard line. The right hash, 3rd and 9. Bradman has time, swings it outside to Harden at the 20. He's got it, tries to elude a tackler, but it's going to be dropped at the 19 by Kugelman again. Eastman over there to help out. What do you do here, Jay? 4th down and 3 at the 19, and they're going to send on Sal Ruffino to get the points.
Got to get points here. You got to get on the board. You got some momentum. You've kept your defense, giving it a little break. That was the play that ran first play of the game that worked so well to Harden. This time, the linebacker much quicker to get out there than on that first play.
Ruffino, 7 of 10 this year in field goals with a long of 41. This one will be from 36 out of the Bradman hold. Rowan Stewart, the long snapper, delivers a good snap, and it's blocked by Kugelman. And Ruffino grabbed the ball. Boy, Ryan Kugelman just got through there and stuck up a hand, and Ruffino hit him right in the paw.
Just a little lower than you would have wanted it there. Allowed the defensive lineman to reach up and get a piece of it. And boy, that's a tough break for the Knights. That was an excellent drive. Really needed to get some points out of that one. That's deflating.
Alma doing it on special teams here as well. Been proverbial complimentary football thus far for the Scots.
Well, I think about this. I don't know how much college football coaches do. I don't want to play, especially a good team coming off a loss. Alma's playing ornery today.
From the 34, 1st and 10 for St. John. Here's a quick tunnel screen to his wide receiver who caught the touchdown earlier.
Really good job by Noah Funk coming over from a safety spot. They stack 3 wide receivers and just throw it to the furthest back one and have the 2 in front to block. And Funk able to make it all the way over there for no gain, maybe a yard.
Zach Poff caught that football. Gain of just a yard. 2nd down from the 35. Quick pitch to Jordan Williams. He tries to get to the edge. Knights string him out. Flag comes in late. That should be a hold, I would think. Another flag comes in. Williams was able to tiptoe down the sidelines to near the 1st down marker at the 42. But let's see what Dave Driscoll, the referee, signals on this critical call.
Well, the first flag is going to be holding on Alma. Isaac Nordhaus did a great job of setting the edge there, and then he was held. I don't know what the second flag is.
It came in late. And we'll hear from Dave Driscoll.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the offense. Holding, offense, number 13. That penalty is declined. Holding. Offense, number 16. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Second down.
Yeah, they're going to take the first one because that's going to be further in the backfield and be a bigger penalty. So break for the Knights there.
So with 1:37 to go in this 16-0 game, Alma gets pushed back to the 27 where they'll have second down and 16. Jordan Williams to St. John's left. Two receivers split to the left. H-back left. The give is to Jordan Williams. Almost the same play. Surges over the right side, out over the 30 to the 34. Carson Schnurstein's inserted into the lineup for the injured Charlie Garbowski, made the stop.
Good hard running by Williams. You know, they had him, and he falls forward for an extra 2, maybe 3 yards, and sets this up to be still third down and long.
3rd and 9 from the 35. St. John straight back to throw. Has time. Here comes the rush, and Schnurstein perfectly blanketed Williams out of the backfield. That's where the ball was going on the right sideline, and St. John had to throw it away, and the Knights, for the first time today, get off the field defensively.
Trevor Martins, the freshman linebacker out of Jenison, coming on the blitz, and we talked with the Calvin coaching staff this week. They are not a team that's going to blitz a lot, but that time it is effective, and it gets them the football back.
65 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Bryce Kempf on to kick it away for the Scots, standing back at his 20. He'll kick deep to Charlie Garbowski at his 25. Booming boot with that wind sends Kolanowski back to the 22, and a great tackle by Massenberg, who just flew down from the gunner spot and cut him down right at the 22. That's 1st and 10 there for Calvin with 58 seconds to go. Big part of this first quarter, too, Jason, has been the field position. Calvin's been starting inside of their 25 every series except for one. Meanwhile, Carter St. John has had field position really beginning at around the 35 or 40 every time Alma's had the football.
I really believe, though, breeze is a factor. Calvin's been going into the wind this entire quarter, and the punts and kicks have helped Alma with the wind at the back. So a couple plays here, and this will flip, and Calvin will get the win for the second quarter.
On 1st and 10, Hunter Hogan on a jet sweep, and he is going to be tracked down behind the line. A terrific defensive play. It was Sullivan Mills knifing through, and
injured offensive player.
Yeah, it's a tough break. Hunter Hogan's still down. He's obviously a vital part of this Calvin team, both on offense and on defense. So we'll have to check on him. We know Jude Klender will spell him on offense.
All right, we'll step aside. 16-0, Alma on top in the waning seconds of the first quarter on the Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Sports Radio and AM 1230 WTKG.
I've wanted to be a teacher since I was in preschool. As a teacher, I know that I am called to not only make an impact on the students that I teach, but to help them come up with creative solutions to be change agents themselves, that Calvin has instilled in me to be an agent of renewal in this world. And how can they help be a problem solver? How can they creatively come up with solutions to better not only the space that they are involved in, but the space that others are involved in as well?
Good to see Hunter Hogan walking off the field under his own power there. Did lose 4 yards, and Jason, that's an interesting story too. It's the first time Hogan's touched the ball. It's such a potent offensive weapon for the Knights, and Alma's done a great job containing him. 2nd down and 14 from their own 18-yard line. Out of the shotgun, Bradman gives it to Harden, breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage, and then darts outside the numbers at the 22. Massenberg dragged him down there, back to the original line of scrimmage. Let's see if Trent Figg probably... Yeah, that's...
Timeout.
I think was going to
first charge timeout of the half.
Tempo there and say, I want a 4th down or 3rd down play with the win, but
now
Jason
I know.
Couch is pretty smart.
Now
right.
I know the coaches think the win matters too, because Alma wants Calvin to run this 3rd and long play into the win. So feel a little better about that. But it's tough now because you're 3rd down and 11 here on your own 23-yard line, and you're going to have to go into the wind a little bit here. We'll see. Now, we haven't seen Luke Mitchmerheisen yet. I wonder if we'll try to draw something up to get the ball to big number 18 here.
Alma coached by Jason Couch in his 7th season at the helm of the Scots. Carries a collegiate career 1-loss record of 39-22. Previously served as the co-head coach at Romeo High School, 1997 Alma grad. As we move through the afternoon in the broadcast, we'll talk about just the great job he's done creating the culture here at Alma that has seen them surge to the top of the MIAA in the last couple of years.
What's going to be interesting is if Calvin runs a play that ends in bounds that's not an incomplete pass and doesn't get the first down, will Alma use another timeout to force him to punt into the wind? I doubt it.
3rd and 10 from the 22 for Chase Bradman. Out of the gun, he'll roll to his left. Here comes Eastman. He's got him again back at the 9-yard line. Evan Eastman, who came into this game leading the Scots in sacks, is showing why here in the first half.
Evan Eastman is a man among boys in this first quarter, and Jason Couch does use another timeout, so Calvin's going to have to punt from their own 10-yard line. And it's going to be really good field position for Alma again.
Second charge timeout of the half.
They're not
game
happy.
Clock operator,
Alma's
please
not
reset
happy,
the game
Bob.
clock to 21.4.
You described it well. we talked about that last week too. As we closed the broadcast from Kalamazoo and looked ahead to this week, and the idea of, you always like to play a really good team after they've won big, not when they're coming off a loss. And they look like a bunch of angry pieces of white chalk out there.
Yeah, they're 2-2, but I mean, this is not a 2-2 football team. Alma's very good. They have very high expectations. With 2 losses, I don't know. They lost to 2 really good teams, 2 ranked teams, but the playoff hopes are dwindling. They certainly can't afford another one.
Logan Knapp on to kick. This will be his 4th punt already. First quarter yardage is just highly lopsided. 163 total yards for Alma, just 44 for Calvin. Now it's Paul Vanderploeg on to punt out of his own end zone. Snap is a good one. He kicks it, goes off the side of his foot, really shanked it. Hits at the 30, takes a Calvin bounce, and it was touched. It was touched by Alma at the 40. Knights say they got it. Alma says we didn't touch it. Let's see what the official calls. How about a big call here? Officials conferring. And I did not see Alma touch it, Jason. Did you?
I did not.
Yeah, that's what the official saw as well.
Honestly, I didn't see anything at all. I was busy trying to figure out where Logan Knapp was because he's normally the punter. He looks fine standing there on the sidelines. They just went with Vanderploeg on that one.
A 35-yard punt by Paul Vanderploeg. That gives Alma great starting position at the Calvin 44 with 10 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Lauderman split to the left. Out of the gun. St. John with plenty of time. Good coverage. He's flushed out. Now goes deep down over the middle for Frenchco. DeHoop right there, stride for stride in the end zone, and falls incomplete. Boy, I thought we were going to see another yellow flag, but pretty good coverage.
I'm shocked we didn't. DeHoop got flagged for pass interference on the first Alma play from scrimmage, and he didn't turn his head around there. Apparently there wasn't enough contact to make a call, and the Knights dodge a bullet.
Boy, that ball was up in the air by St. John for seemingly minutes, and the jump ball between a couple of 6'2" players falls incomplete. Last play of the first quarter coming up here. 1st and 10 or 2nd and 10 from the Calvin 44 for St. John. Turns hands off out of the gun to Jordan Williams. He's got an alley up the middle. Drags the pile down to the 38. That's the way the first quarter will end. After one, it's Alma 16, Calvin nothing. This is Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Sports Radio and Talk 1230 WTKG.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
Today's second quarter is brought to you by Skipper & Ostrink Wealth Management, unlocking your financial potential and building your legacy. That's Skipper & Ostrink Wealth Management. Bob Sack alongside Jason Hutton here from Grand Rapids Christian High School in Southeast Grand Rapids. It's Calvin University's first ever homecoming football game. And boy, they picked a tough opponent to do battle with today. Alma's rolling here in the first quarter, leading at 16-0. They have dominated on both sides of the ball and showing why they are a preseason favorite despite their loss last week, to contend for an MIAA title. Well, they will have its 3rd down and 4 at the Calvin 38. Handoff to Eddie Williams. He has room on the right side, busts into the second level and dragged down by Schnurstein at the 27, but not before he picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, Alma's they're getting behind their offensive line, who's getting a really good push, and they're running the football here. Into the wind, that's a good way to do it.
1st and 10, Williams has got it again. This time runs to his left, cuts back to the middle, and has another 1st down at the 17 into the secondary, Paul Vanderploeg.
Well, this gets tough now because the tempo. Alma's going quickly here. Calvin's defense was on the field a lot in that 1st quarter, and they're just running it right at them.
1st and 10 from the 16. St. John to throw, has plenty of time. Now he's flushed out to the left. A holding penalty will come in. St. John still on his feet along the left sideline, and then just throws it out of bounds. But they're going to get one of the big linemen, Reese Townsend, for a hold there back at the 26. Good coverage by the Calvin secondary.
And a good job by Jaden Lewis to force that. He was getting pressure off the edge, which forced either hands to the face or holding.
Offense, number 51, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. The down remains 1.
Set that Alma offensive line. Reese Townsend from Portland. At the right tackle, Joe Foster's the right guard from Howell. The center is one of the captains, J.B. Couch, right from hometown Alma. Left guard is Maddox Moselle from St. Clair, big 280-pounder, a junior. And at left tackle, Owen Denk from Williamston, 6'2", 260 junior.
Trevor Martin's applied the pressure to St. John on that one. He's done a really good job today, Martins has, from that middle linebacker spot.
3-man front on 1st and 21. Turns and gives to Khalil Brown. Running to his right, Vanderploeg cut him down there at the 23.
Excellent play by Vanderploeg, but Alma's going to see that, right? I mean, we're going to Calvin's prime for the play action throw over the top here because the Knights are running their safeties up to try to help in that run game. They have to because Alma's run it so well.
2nd down and 17 from the 23-yard line. Coffey slot left. Eddie Williams to St. John's left hip. Now in motion is Brock Miller looping. They swing it out to him in the left flat. Vanderploeg giving chase and makes a nice tackle on Miller. He's able to stretch forward to the 21, but pretty good defense again by Paul Vanderploeg coming up to really what's essentially run support.
Excellent job by Vanderploeg because he was lined up over him on the left side and they went in motion, so he ran all the way across the field, which makes that a tough play for the defender, and Vanderploeg made it look easy.
3rd down and 15 from the 21. St. John out of the gun. He'll roll to his right, sling it right sideline, complete to Brock Miller at the 14, lunges forward to the 10. Jair Nolan came up to spill him there, but shy of the 1st down. Let's see if Jason Couch goes for it here on 4th and a long 3 or settles for the field goal.
And no sign of the field goal unit.
Up 16-0.
I got to believe this is going to be Williams here right between the tackles. They ran super effective in this game. I think they're going to get behind their line.
They pitch it out to him. He gets to the edge on the left side. Nice try to string it out. He turns the corner and races toward the pylon and is into the end zone. Is he? Or is he down at the 1? He is into the end zone. Touchdown, Eddie Williams on that 11-yard TD run. And boy, you called it, Jason. There was just an overload of white shirts on the left side against a lot of space.
Yeah, they went outside and they let Williams get the corner on that one. I thought maybe they'd go inside with it because they've been so effective, but he was able to turn the corner. Nice blocking by the Scots and extend their lead.
Extra point by Hernandez is good. And with 12:26 to go, it is 23-0. And that touchdown, I think, really is made by the last defensive stand by Alma and the great timeout usage by Jason Couch. He knew he had the wind behind him for a couple more plays, forced that punt, and had another short field for Carter St. John.
And you think, why do that in the 1st quarter, right? That's something you do maybe at the end of a 3rd quarter of a close game, but 23-0 this early in the 2nd quarter. I mean, at this point, there's still a lot of football game left, but it's going to be pretty tough for Calvin down essentially 4 scores, barring some 2-point conversions here. But now Calvin does have the wind. We'll see if they can do something with it.
Uccello's Restaurant has a restaurant near you. Go where great food and sports come together. Make sure to try one of their 18-plus specialty pizzas. They offer a variety of handcrafted pizzas, each one a testament to their love for quality and flavor. Order online at uccellos.com. That scoring drive of the 44-yard variety in 2 minutes and 34 seconds, presented by Paris Motors. Eddie Williams with the 11-yard touchdown run. Find your next drive at Paris Motors, a fantastic selection of used cars to meet your specs and budget here in Grand Rapids. Kickoff short, taken by Neuenhaus at the 24, and he drives his way up the middle to the 35. Good. That's probably the best starting field position the Knights have had here in this first half. And the wind definitely a factor.
Neuenhaus able to take that with a full head of steam. So we'll see if Calvin can do something with their best field position of the game and try to get on the board here, because at 23-0, it can be difficult.
12:21 to go. Knights' best drive pushed them to the 19-yard line of Alma, but a field goal attempt by Sal Rufino was batted away by Ryan Klutenberg. And Calvin takes over 1st and 10 on their own 37. 3 receivers wide, 2 to the left. Bradman fakes to Harden, rolls to his right. Here comes the pressure, finds Paul Bal, the 4th, complete along the right sideline for a 3-yard short gain.
Talked to Paul Bal, the 4th, earlier today. You know, he played quarterback at Calvin Christian. I asked him, does he miss playing quarterback? He says, sometimes, but not always.
You always know you're a good athlete when you're your high school quarterback, that's for sure. 2nd and 7. Bradman, time to throw, guns it over the middle to Klunder. He's got him at the 43 of Alma. 1st down to the 38.
That's the best play of the day for Calvin that time. Klunder able to just find room, zone coverage, get behind the linebackers, short of the safeties, and Bradman made a nice throw with a nice pocket.
Bryce Fredenberg, the all-conference safety, made that tackle. Quick tempo, gives to Harden, tries to bounce it out to the outside, and he is absolutely swallowed up by white shirts, led by Isaac Vinson. Maybe got back to the line. 2nd and 10.
Calvin likes to go up tempo after they get a 1st down. That's when we see them use the tempo, and it had been effective, but that time Alma doing a nice job. Calvin unable to get outside running the football.
Bradman to throw on 2nd down, guns it out here in the left flat, complete to Harden, but boy, he is absolutely diagnosed by Ryan West.
Yeah, that's been a tough play in the flats. West has been outstanding at that corner spot in this game.
Sophomore from Cedar Springs diagnosed that play perfectly. Made the stop, but 3-yard loss for Calvin. Mishmer Heisen still on the sidelines. You have not seen him, Calvin's leading receiver.
I think that's just the rotation, the planned rotation. We talked with Coach Figg this week. He's just out on a rotation right now.
3rd and 12, Bradman to throw. Here comes the rush, steps out, delivers it over the middle to Klunder. Incomplete right there on good coverage was Vinson again. And on 4th and 13, Trent Figg will send in the punting team.
To bring up 4th down for the Knights.
Logan Knapp back at his 43. No deep safety for Alma, as the Scots very aware of potential fake from this point in the field. Knapp tries to send a high, lazy kick that will bounce right at the 1, but then will turn and roll over into the end zone for a touchback on that punt. Fans, blood donation is the lifeline that connects you to others and keeps the pulse of the community strong. Every day, someone in your community may need blood. University Blood Center of Michigan is the local blood provider, supplying blood for many hospitals across the Midwest. The Calvin University Hope College Blood Battle begins October 1st and will go through November 6, 2024. All Calvin students, alumni, and fans are encouraged to show their school spirit and donate blood at a donation center anytime October 1st through November 6th. To find a donation center near you, visit versity.org and make sure to put Knights in the notes to count your blood for Calvin. 1st and 10 at the 20. Carter St. John complete to Lauderman over the middle. He's got a 1st down out over the 40. Vanderploeg saved a touchdown there. Boy, Ty Lauderman found that open seam in that zone, and St. John had protection and gunned it to him.
They overloaded the right side there, and Lauderman just snuck in the middle. He's outstanding.
Play action pass. Here's St. John going deep down over the middle of Lauderman again. Incomplete. Good coverage that time. And
I was just about to say, Calvin's done a good job on Ty Lauderman. I don't think he'd had a catch before that play, but he had a big gainer there. And a nice job by the Calvin secondary on that play, right? I mean, these Knights DBs are being tested because Alma is throwing the football and they're throwing it deep.
2nd and 10 from the 42. 7 of 11 through the air for Carter St. John today for 117 yards. That give us to Jordan Williams, churning his way over the right side to the 48, picked up about 5. They'll mark at the 47. Another big 3rd down play. Calvin trying to get off the field here in this first half. Up tempo for Carter St. John. Gives to Williams again. He's stretched out to the right, tries to turn the corner, can't do it, and run out of bounds by Jair Nolan, short of the 50. It'll be 4th down and 3. Good pursuit there by the quarterback, Jair Nolan.
Yeah, and Austin Fennick isn't going to get credit for the tackle. I thought he got held, still was able to force Williams to go outside and allow his pursuit to make that play. And boy, Calvin's defense is going to get off the field here. That's a big stop.
2nd time today. Bryce Kemp will come on to punt.
Calvin's not buying it, though. We see Trent Figg crossing his arms and waving them back and forth. This is a safe defense. The starting defense is out there. So they're keen to something tricky going here.
Kolanowski standing back at his 11 to field this punt. 23-0. 8:58 to go here in the first half. Knights get a stop. Now their offense has got to go to work here. Kolanowski will just let it go over his head. Ball checks up and then starts rolling inside the 10. Will be down at the 5. So good job flipping the field by Bryce Kemp.
It's the story of the game here, Bob. I mean, listen, Alma's good, and they're playing well, and they're playing mad. But field position, even now going into the wind, Alma's still able to punt the ball dead at the 5. When Calvin had the wind, they punted in the end zone. This is big 15 yards. Every yard matters.
You know, we thought, Jason, that Calvin might be able to run the football. Just 11 yards rushing on 12 attempts. Part of that's Chase Bradman being sacked as well. But give Alma credit. That defensive line has been stout today.
Yeah, their front 7, I thought their linebackers have played well. Eastman has been in Bradman's face whenever he wants to throw it. So Alma's playing really good with that front 7 right now. And I like to see Calvin try to throw the football to Luke Mitchmerheisen.
From his own 5, Dabowski in motion. They give us to Jackson Cook. He pounds his way over the left side, carries a tackler with him out over the 10 to the 11-yard line. First to meet him there was Jaden Burrs. Picked up 5, so 2nd down and 5 from the 11.
Tough run by Cook, though. I mean, a good 2, 3, maybe 4 yards after contact on that one.
He's got it again. And no, Bradman fakes to him and now slings it right side to Kalen Dabowski along the sideline. Breaks a tackle at the 15 and slung down at the 20. First down, Brock Boudry. Corralled him there.
Haven't seen a ton of Caleb Dubowski, but a big Rapids grad. I mean, he's probably pretty proud of his Cardinals have won 5 straight games.
Dubowski was effective on the running game last week in the jet sweep at Kalamazoo, so getting more and more playing time as a young freshman. 1st and 10 for the Knights now at their own 20.
They're pretty much all young freshmen.
That is true. 6th first down for Calvin. Cook takes the handoff from Bradman and plows his way over the right side. Caleb Youngblood up from the secondary to meet him.
You mentioned 6 first downs for Calvin halfway through the second quarter here. 33 first downs for the Knights last week against Kalamazoo. That was very impressive. But Alma's really good up front.
2nd and 2 from the 22. Bradman out of the gun. He'll roll to his left. Now turn it upfield to run it over the 25 to the 30. It there by Brock Boudry again, short of the first down. Set up 3rd down and 3 from the 28. Key play here. Any 3rd down for Calvin to stay on the field is a key play, but just to get some momentum.
That looked like a designed run with Chase Bradman. I don't think we'll see a ton of design run with Bradman here moving forward, just because taking a lot of hits here in this first 4 games of the season.
Bradman to throw, throws it behind Mitchmerheisen on a quick in at the right hash, incomplete, and it'll be 4th down. That's the 3rd time today he's slung the ball just behind his intended receiver.
That was Mitchmerheisen's first target, I believe. 6:53 to play second quarter. Calvin's going to have to give the ball back to Alma. defense has been out there a lot today.
They sure have. Logan Knapp back on to kick it away. Down 23-0.
Logan Knapp back on the Knights.
Back deep is Joe Debski, the West Catholic alum. Lazy spiral grabbed by Debski. Fair caught at the 35. 1st and 10 there for Alma. College education that prepares you not only for your first job, but to thrive throughout your entire life is of great value. And Calvin offers that to its students and has come up with a number of ways to help all families make college more affordable. 100% of incoming Calvin students receive financial aid. Discover the many scholarships and grants you have access to at calvin.edu. Just search financial aid. Carter St. John, 7 of 12 today for 117 yards. Back to work, 1st and 10 at his own 35, leading 23-0. Eddie Williams, his running back off his right hip. He'll turn, give it to Williams. Big hole over the left side, busts into the secondary. The Hoops finally there to corral him at the 49. He falls forward to the 50, and that's a chunk yardage again on 1st down. Boy, their 1st down plays have garnered big yards all afternoon.
Yeah, just look like zone blocking, and Owen Dank and Maddox Mosel over there doing a good job on the left side of that Alma line.
Williams again, right up the gut this time behind the left guard. Schneerstein slid over to make the stop. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7 from the Calvin 47.
Alma's done a nice job mixing run and pass here. I would imagine they're going to sneak a throw in here somewhere, try to get Lauderman or Frenchco involved. Nope.
Eddie Williams, a lot of room over the right side. He's got another 1st down inside the 40. And I tell you what, you said it earlier, that when he runs just outside the tackle, the seal block has been outstanding. Vanderplug again up to make the tackle from that safety spot. Up tempo now for Alma. 1st and 10 from the 35. Play fake. St. John looks right, looks left, now rolls right, deep down the right sideline to Lauderman. He's got it at the pylon. What a catch for the touchdown over Jair Nolan. Ty Lauderman with a great grab. Boy, that ball was thrown up for grabs, and Lauderman, the big 6'4", 195-pound senior from Marquette, just skied over Jair Nolan, and those 5 inches of height advantage made the difference there.
Well, it starts with the protection. Carter St. John had absolutely all day to diagnose the secondary there. And then he makes a nice throw to the outside because he knows his athletic receiver can go get it. That was an incredible play by Lauderman to elevate and go get the football.
Point after attempt is no good. So with 5:31 to go, that's one thing that's been positive for the Knights. They've 3 times now have turned away the point after touchdown for Alma.
I'm starting to see why they went with that swinging gait on the touchdown in the 1st quarter and then tried to throw the football. Having a little trouble kicking the extra point.
This month in Calvin sports history, presented by Applied Innovation, features the 2015 Calvin women's soccer team that captured the MIAA regular season and MIAA tournament titles. The Knights advanced all the way to the NCAA quarterfinals with a final season record of 21-3-2. That's this month in Calvin sports history, presented by Applied Innovation, networking Calvin alums for 35 years. 5.5 to go here in the 1st half. 29-0 Alma. They have scored early and often today. Their defense, I think, really, Jason, is what has impressed me more than anything. I thought Calvin could move the football a little bit today, but that has been a stingy, as you talked about, front 7. And Chase Bradman looking for answers here on this next series.
Alma's a little young in the secondary. That's where they were kind of hurt by graduation. So you think maybe you can try to attack the secondary, but the front 7's been so good that Calvin hasn't had the opportunity. Bradman hasn't had time, and they can't establish a ground game.
Soulier on the kickoff, aimed for that coffin corner, but the wind just knocked it down and then it dribbled out of bounds at the 15. So it'll be a penalty on Alma. 1st and 10 for Calvin at the 35.
If we're looking for positives here, I'm not sure exactly what the penalties are, but we're not on pace for 19 for the Knights, are we?
No, that has been a positive. Just One penalty early on, that PI in the first quarter. From the 35, Bradman overlooks that three-man front. Here comes the pressure. The handoff is to Harden, spins out of a tackle to 35, still on his feet over the 50. It's a foot race down the right sideline. He's going to beat Brock Boudreaux to the end zone. Touchdown, Calvinites! Jair Harden, 65 yards down the right sideline. And all of a sudden, this homecoming crowd has come to life as Calvin is on the board.
Well, Paul Morgan-Martinez, the left guard there, he got out and led that for Harden, who was able to avoid a tackle from the linebacker and then did the rest. Jair Harden just ran away from everybody. Elite speed from number 0, as in the amount of people in this building that can run with him. And the Knights are on the board.
Helped there by the pressure that Alma brought from the linebacker spot, and that kind of vacated a hole. And once Jair was able to spin out of that first hit,
oh my goodness,
he had pay dirt. Sal Ruffino, for the first time this year, does not convert the extra point. It is blocked, and with 5:19 to go, the score remains 29-6. But a little bit of buzz back in the step of the Calvin Knights and their fans here today on that 65-yard TD run by Jair Harden. That is not the first time he has busted one loose. He did it 2 weeks ago at Anderson on a 68-yard run, and then last week at Kalamazoo had a 21-yard touchdown run around the left end. So when he gets to that second level and gets to the edge, that's where he seems to be most dangerous.
Yeah, we saw that at Davenport too when he played for the Panthers. Showed that elusive foot speed, had a really good season running the ball for DU, and boy, he can go, no question about it. See if that breathes a little life into this Calvin team here. Now even the defense can get out there and make a play.
Bad news is the defense didn't get much of a rest.
They sure didn't. No, they sure didn't.
But I think Trent Figg will take that touchdown. Hayden Slagers has it teed up at the 35. This is a change for Calvin too. Evan Raymond's been the kickoff artist most of the season, all of the season really, except for the last kickoff at Kalamazoo last week. Slagers will tee this one up at the 35. Beautiful end over end kick with that big breeze behind him, drives it through the end zone, and 1st and 10 from the 25 for Alma.
Yeah, Slager's the backup quarterback. Kicked a touchback in that last kickoff against Kalamazoo as well. He can really boot it. Maybe let him kick extra points.
You know, I watched the Oregon-Michigan State game last night. Of course, Trent Figg, very good friends with Dan Lanning, and you saw a couple of formations last night that Oregon runs that we've seen from Calvin. One of them is where they have 3. It's like a pistol with the 2 running backs flanking the quarterback that Slagers ran last week as the backup quarterback, as a running back, and Oregon used that last night. I thought, yeah, that looked familiar, and sure enough, you see that in the Calvin arsenal. From the 25, 1st and 10 for Alma. 3 receivers stacked to the right. Brown, the running back. Here's a quick slant complete to a wide open receiver over the middle. That's a 1st down and more for Braden Sullivan out over the 50 down to the 34. Well, he got a leverage on the inside of that cornerback and a big gainer there of 40 yards down to the Calvin 35.
Well, that's a product of their ability to run the football. I mean, that DBs are looking in the backfield because Williams have been so good toting the pigskin, and boy, all that momentum Calvin created just kind of gone right there.
That's that run pass option that St. John is so good at. He'll take the snap and roll to his right on 1st and 10, throws it to the right sideline to Sullivan again, but he caught it out of bounds at the 23. On the coverage was Funk, incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Corey DeGroat, the head linesman, making that call. Former Portage Central baseball coach. His son, a great basketball player at Schoolcraft High School.
Only Jason Hutton knows that sort of information about West Michigan high school sports. Speaking of high school, Carter St. John, a Bishop Chittard product out of Indianapolis, won 2 state titles for a powerhouse down there. Brought that winning way here to Alma. On 1st and 10, or 2nd and 10, Khalil Brown's got the handoff over the right side, now bounces it out to the left side and streaks down the left sideline for the touchdown. 35-yard scamper by Khalil Brown. Boy, a little handoff to the right. The defense flowed that way, and he just cut against the grain, found real estate to the left side, and burst his way down the sideline for the score.
Yeah, I think the Calvin defense is a little winded. They've just been out there so long, and boy, Alma's just hitting them right where it hurts, running the football really effectively.
Yeah, again, not to take anything away from Jair Harden's 65-yard run, but the defense probably could have used a little bit of rest on that last Calvin offensive set. Hernandez missed another extra point. And for the 4th time today, Alma has failed on the point after touchdown.
That's the old struggle to make extra points but still get to 35. They had a field goal that was just able to make up for all their extra point problems. Nonetheless, it's 35-6, and Calvin looking for some life here. We thought they had it with that great Jair Harden run, and boy, this is what good teams do. They come right back and they march down the field and they just take all that momentum right back.
Alma's done it on the ground and through the air. 194 yards on the ground, 192 through the air. So they're pushing the 400-yard mark here in the first half against this Calvin defense. Will Soulier will tee it up, kick it deep to Jake Duenheis and Russell Ronan Dixon. Calvin's offense ranked 43 in the country in passing, 105th in rushing, so they have certainly come into this game looking to run the football, and they have done it well. Here's a low bouncing kick taken at the 20 by Mishmerheisen. He motors his way up the middle of the field to the 33. Upended by Zane Moore on the special team. 1st and 10 there for Calvin.
It's confusing on special teams because there's double numbers with all these guys, and so you don't know who it is because they're their offense or defense. I believe that was Austin Tiesma.
You're
because
right.
Mitch Merheisen is 6'7".
Yeah.
How tall was that guy? I don't know how else you figure it out, though. I mean, if you don't have one of the guys being 6'7", I don't know how you know.
Austin Tiesma, a South Christian freshman, also wears 18 as a DB. So 1st and 10 for Chase Bradman at the 33. Jair Harden off his right hip will take the handoff over left guard. Oh, he's just stood up by Evan Eastman right at the line of scrimmage and thrown back. They'll probably give him forward progress, maybe a yard to the 34. Eastman came from the right defensive end spot, Jason, to just stonewall Harden.
I don't think I've ever been part of a game where the defensive lineman was the player of the game, but there's a long way to go here today. But Evan Eastman's kind of dominating this football game.
He's lined up as a defensive end on the left, number 48. Play action. Bradman will roll left. He's got an open receiver at the 50-yard line. That's Seth Anderson, the freshman from Rockford. Got behind the corner and in front of Boudry, but Chase just sailed it a bit over his head, incomplete. Anderson could not climb the ladder for it. It's 3rd and 9.
It just been a little off today, and that happens. Wind's a factor, health is a factor, and playing a really good team also a factor.
But yet those are the plays against a really good team you've got to come up with. 3rd down and 9 from the 33. Paul Bauman at tight end. Here comes the rush. Bradman's going to be snowed under. Oh, he escapes it. Now rolls to his left, cocks his arm, hit as he throws, and it's going to be underthrown for Anderson down at the 30. It was running for his life, and it was a host of Alma Scots, including an unrostered number 9 that put the pressure on Chase Bradman.
I'll tell you, it was a Houdini act by Chase Bradman just to avoid the sack in the pocket, and then he was loading up trying to go deep, but got his, he threw it, and poor number 4 just keeps picking himself up off the ground on almost every single play.
Logan Knapp standing back to kick at his 17. Here comes the rush. Oh, he gets it off. He sends a towering spiral down to the 18-yard line. What a punt by Logan Knapp. Talk about flipping the field. He just booted that one. A solid 46-yard punt by Knapp. And Carter St. John will set up shop 1st and 10 from the 20, leading 35-6 with 3:37 to go.
Well, if you're looking for things you got to do here, Calvin's got to find a way to not give up points here before the half. I mean, you're already down 4 touchdowns. Alma's moved the ball at will this entire first half. You get a small victory here would be getting a stop and getting to the locker room, not down more than they are now.
Play fake. St. John throws it right sideline to Lauderman outside the numbers. He's hemmed in there. First hit by Isaiah Hill. Schnurstein helping along with Noah Funk.
Good job.
Up 7.
Good job by Boganat from his linebacker spot getting pressure on St. John. We haven't seen much pressure on St. John tonight, but Lauderman had 7-8 yards of cushion there when he caught that football.
Richard Wiggins now in at nose guard for the Knights on 2nd and 3. Schnurstein tackling Jordan Williams as he slants over the left side for a first down out to the 33. Clock now inside of 3 minutes. Only one timeout left in the first half for Alma.
You know, we talked a lot about the rotations for Calvin, but, you know, a linebacker, there's not a whole lot of rotations because they're just down to so many guys left.
St. John fakes to the run, now throws deep down the left side, complete to Devin Frenchko at the 20, and he's going to beat Noah Funk to the end zone. Touchdown, Alma. A 67-yard TD pass from one All-American to another. Carter St. John finds his favorite receiver, Devin Frenchko, got behind the corner and raced to the end zone for the score.
Well, you're in the spread formation, you running the football, you're basically bringing these safeties out of a position to play deep unless you're going to play zone. And we thought Calvin would play a lot more zone today, but that was man-to-man, and there aren't many guys in the MIAA that are going to go with Devin Frenchko man-to-man, and he beat him.
Hernandez on for the extra point, and he got it. 2:40 to go, 41-6. Stay with us at halftime for today's halftime show presented by Lake Michigan Credit Union. A lot for you. Love a quick word from Trent Figg as Levi Suter will track him down here at the end of the first half. Stats, first half analysis, and special conversations related to Calvin's homecoming weekend, including a visit with Tyler Amadon, Calvin's alumni board president. That's all ahead on today's halftime show presented by Lake Michigan Credit Union, where members really like earning more when they save and paying less when they borrow. 42-6, 2:40 to go here in the first half. Big day at Calvin today as part of the homecoming festivities. Includes the dedication of the new soccer facility, and if you have not seen it, it is absolutely stunning. I would rival it with any Big Ten soccer facility. It is that gorgeous.
Have you seen Northwestern's where they're playing football right now?
Yes.
It's that good?
It's yes.
That's incredible.
It's better. Yeah, it sure is. Now, we don't have Lake Michigan in the background, but there's a pond to the left of the south-north goal. Soulier's kickoff bounces down to Neuenheis, so he can't handle it. The 15 now picks it up and then stumbles at the 16. And when it rains, it pours right now, and that's how things are going for Calvin. But make sure if you get to campus, check out that new soccer facility. It is absolutely beautiful. They'll dedicate it today between games. The ladies play at 4:30, and at 7:30, the men play, and in between, that new facility will be dedicated.
It's just one of those days for Calvin, right? I mean, Neuenheis trips there over the 16-yard line, and 2:37 left. Calvin's backed up again.
It has been a quiet day for the Calvin receivers, too. Just 3 catches for Jude Klunder, 3 screen passes to Harden. Here's a quick pitch to Jackson Cook. Tries to get to the outside. He's tracked down right at the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by Preston Marlatt.
Yeah, that front seven for Alma. I mean, they're just doing what they've been doing all game. Getting penetration, not allowing anything.
Think of last week. 8 different receivers caught passes, including 3 guys who caught at least 8. And today, none of those 3 who caught all those passes, except for Hogan, who just got drilled after he hauled in a underneath crossing route, have caught passes. This one's going to come back to, I think, a hold on Calvin.
One of the few times today Chase Bradman has not been pressured, and it's going to be as a result of a holding call.
Dave
Holding.
Driscoll
Offense, number
signals
72. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 3rd down.
Interesting decision there by Jason Couch. Instead of...
Let's get the ball back. It's right about time, I think, with 2:11.
3rd down from the 20.
It's 42-6.
He wants one more high-octane 2-minute drill, I think, to test his team a little bit. Back to throw. Here comes the pressure. Bradman flushed out to the right. Checks down to Carter Baalsma, complete outside the numbers at the 26. Falls forward before Ryan West upends him.
They're not going to go for it, Bob, but I would.
We've reached the 2-minute timeout.
We'll step aside, 42-6. This is Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Sports Radio and Talk 1230 WTKG.
Join the next generation of global business leaders at Calvin University School of Business, offering 8 undergraduate majors and 2 master's degrees, and exceptional faculty with real-world experience who will partner with you and guide you along the way, and opportunities to participate in internships, study abroad programs, and hands-on learning experiences. This is Calvin University School of Business. Your future begins here.
The 2-minute timeout, new in college football this year, comes before Logan Knapp's punt.
As far as Calvin's concerned, it's always been around, right? New with Calvin, new with the 2-minute timeout.
That's true. Logan Knapp standing at his 11.
Oh boy.
Sends a towering fly ball to center field. That's what it looked like, didn't it? Fair caught at the 38 by Debsky. And that's where Carter St. John, with 1:49 to go, one timeout. I would suspect Jason Couch will try for one more touchdown.
Absolutely.
Here.
That's why I was saying Calvin. I think Calvin should have went for it back there, because Alma's got to get pedal down here. Like, they're going to try to score anyway, and the defense has struggled to stop them. I mean, you get 1 yard and move the chains and keep your offense on the field for the rest of the half. But I get it. You don't want to give them a short field. You're going to do everything you can not to go down 49-6 before the break.
Jordan Williams back into the game at that running back slot for the white-clad Scots. Back to throw St. John. Quick curl route complete to the backup tight end. That's Dom Overway, his 4th catch of the year. Picks up 9 yards to the 47. Clock now 1:38.
Of course, now you're in the 2-minute drill. You're going quickly, but Alma's a pretty up-tempo offense anyway, so this is nothing out of the ordinary for them. They're kind of comfortable in this situation. No Frenchco, no Lauderman on the field, though, so we are not seeing their superstars here, of course, with a healthy, comfortable lead.
On 2nd and 1, back to throw is St. John. Plenty of time. Wings at left sideline, complete at the 38 to a falling down Khalil Brown, who wheel routed out of the backfield. Check, that wasn't Khalil Brown. It was actually, I'm not sure. That is, again, a rosterless number. Quick pitch to Jordan Williams on 1st and 10 from the 39. Outside the numbers, pushes the pile down to the 32.
Well, the previous play, the pass, Calvin was getting beat in man-to-man defense, right? And we knew that could be an issue coming in with Alma's receivers. They were in the deep zone that time, and St. John just taking away to give them underneath.
2nd and 2 from the 31. St. John back to throw again. Deep down over the middle, intended in the end zone. Incomplete. Aiden Branoff defending at the goal line for Calvin. So it's 3rd down and 2 from the 31 with 46 seconds to go in the first half. Scott's trying to add one more to their 42-6 lead.
So I'm doing my best to get to these roster issues. I believe 16, the man who caught the ball 2 plays ago, is Braden Sullivan. And I believe number 9, the defensive lineman who made the hit on Bradman in the last possession, was Jerome Roberson.
Jerome Roberson. He's been a thorn in Bradman's side. On 3rd and 2, St. John on a quarterback draw has the first down before Mertens spilled him at the 29.
Colin Diekman in there as well, too.
3rd and final charge time out of the half.
Part of that linebacker rotation. Diekman and Martins, of course, played together at Jenison. I thought they've done a nice job at linebacker this year for Calvin. Of course, just a different level of competition today with Alma. And this Scots team's been to the playoffs last 2 years, 2-time defending MIAA champs, and they're playing like it.
I think one of the things, too, you look at Calvin's defensive scheme, largely the 3-3-5, Jason, and, that's designed to take away a little bit of that passing game from Carter St. John. He's so adept at that. But when you line up 3 guys along the interior line of scrimmage, you have a harder time stopping the run because you just simply don't have those linemen can get to the second level. And that's happened today, too, with Eddie Williams and Jordan Williams, the 2 Alma backs, picking up chunk yardage all night, all day long.
Well, what Calvin's tried to do, Carson Schnurstein, the outside linebacker, has started at the line of scrimmage a lot of times. And then you bring up, it was Hunter Hogan. We haven't seen Hunter Hogan as much. You bring up that 3rd safety a little bit to act as the other outside linebacker. And you need to get 7 in the box.
39 seconds to go, 1st and 10. St. John will roll right, chased there by Martins, and had a zing it out of bounds along the left sideline, incomplete with 34 seconds to go. Be a victory here for the Knights to get a stop before this half against such a prolific quarterback.
Well, and a good job of flushing Carter St. John that time. Calvin bringing a little bit of pressure. As you mentioned, the 3 down linemen, they bring a linebacker that time, and it works.
2 receivers stacked to each side. In motion is Williams, back to throw. St. John's coverage is good. Throws it down toward the right pylon, complete at the 6-yard line. Caught there by Goff again. Poff, rather. Zach Poff at the 7 out of bounds in front of Jair Nolan. That's a first down, 1st and goal with 26 seconds to go.
Yeah, Nolan's been rock solid all season long. He's been good today as well, but that time Poff able to get him on the out, just in bounds.
St. John back to throw, flushed out. He's going to run, and he's tackled at the 7.
Yeah, Trevor Martins again, no doubt in my mind, he's been Calvin's best player here today.
Quickly to the line with 12 seconds to go. St. John will spike it. And with 10 seconds to go, it's 3rd and goal now at the 8 for Alma.
So you figure 2 plays left, right? So if you take a shot in the end zone here, and if it's incomplete, you can run 1 more play. That would then be 4th down, and likely the last play of the half anyway. So Calvin's got 2 plays here to get to the locker room at 42-6.
Scots have ran 50 plays here in the first half. And talk about just the fatigue of the defense. They have been on their heels all afternoon. 10 seconds to go. Now Trent Figg will call it timeout.
Timeout, Calvin. First charge, timeout of the half.
Interesting, when the Scots started this drive, there was no Lauderman, there was no Frenchco. Now that they're down in the red zone, both 8 and 83 lined up in the formation that time. Of course, you know those are guys that Carter St. John's going to be looking for in this situation. I mean, Jason Couch really wants to get 1 more score here before the break.
Don't forget to stay with us at halftime for the Lake Michigan Credit Union halftime show. Joined by Tyler Amadon, the president of the Alumni Association, talking about all the great festivities here this weekend. It's homecoming weekend. Big crowd that's certainly been quieted today. Not like the first time Calvin played football here, but a little different.
Still really cool to see this, right? The 2nd home game ever. Great crowds, great support for this. You know, it's only going to keep getting better and better. It's a lot of fun.
Trent Figg, talked to him earlier in the week, very pleased with the progress of this team. We'll talk more about that in the second half. St. John with 10 seconds to go, back to throw, has time, lofts it towards the end zone, and it is picked off by Caden Kolanowski at the back of the end zone. Now there's a stop, forced the turnover.
And Austin Fennick did a great job from his defensive line position, getting pressure and hitting St. John when he threw it. And the Alma receiver fell down, and that allows
ruling on the field
Calvin
is
to
an
make
incomplete pass.
Yeah,
4th down.
I think what happened was Kolanowski had his left foot on the end line back there when he hauled that ball in. So it's actually incomplete. So the Knights will need to churn up the defense 1 more time, although Jason Couch is going to go for a field goal, trying to just sort of justify this kicking game that has been the one downside to Alma's first half performance.
They need some work on the place kicking.
Hernandez on for the boot. The kick is good from 22, and that is the way the first
That's
half
the end of the first half.
will end. Let's go downstairs where Levi Suter is standing by. He has Trent Figg to get a quick recap on this first half. Levi?
Hey, Bob, thanks. Coach, what do we have to do to get back into this football game?
Yeah, so the big thing is physicality. We just have to match their physicality. We came out a little bit flat. They came out really physical, and we talk all the time about being physical, and that's what we have to do.
Gotcha. Now, Coach, what did you – it might not have been the greatest half. What did you like about it?
Yeah, I mean, I like how our guys are battling. You know, our offense goes down to get a big play, run, touchdown, and it's just one play at a time. Battle, be physical, and we'll be just fine.
Thank you so much, Coach. Bob, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, thanks, Levi. First half done, 45-6. Alma on top. Stay with us, though. We've got a lot ahead of the Lake Michigan Credit Union halftime show. We'll be joined by Tyler Amadon, the president of the alumni board. Also, a couple of special guests on the field who are being honored here at halftime as well. That's all ahead on the Lake Michigan Credit Union halftime show. Straight ahead. This is the Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Sports Radio on Talk 1230 WTKG.
Other financial institutions may do a couple things well, but in our experience over the past decade, Lake Michigan Credit Union has done all of the things well.
LMCU has been there for every stage of my life.
I don't think I'd be in the same position if it wasn't connected to LMCU.
I know where my money is. I know what I can spend. I know what I'm able to do.
And that's an amazing experience to have. In terms of customer service, LMCU is top-notch. You're not going to find a better place to bank.
Graduation?
We've got you covered. Office party?
Let us handle it.
Sports?
Give us a call.
Come on down and see us at Detroit Wayne Company at Knapp's Crossing, or give us a call, 616-214-8329. We'll take care of all your catering needs. Come on, guys, get back to work. Get on the line. Let's go.
I love working downtown Grand Rapids, being able to go to class and then come here and do work where the theory that I learned in the classroom really did apply.
I think the Calvin interns, they have this well-balanced background, right? I also think that Calvin does a really nice job preparing them in communication.
I think the Calvin network is phenomenal, and that is a huge help of making me feel comfortable knowing that my education is preparing me super well for the rest of my life. So knowing that I can see people being successful in their lives who went through the same educational system as me is very encouraging.
The best part of grad school would be the connections that you make, not only with your cohort, but with the professors as well.
I felt very supported, and I don't feel alone in the program.
I just really feel like each individual in the program gets a relationship with the professors in a different way that's meaningful to them and is more geared to them.
I'm a grad student at Calvin University. Yay! Okay.
It is halftime here at Grand Rapids Christian on the southeast side of Grand Rapids. Welcome inside the Lake Michigan Credit Union halftime show, where our members enjoy great rates when they save and low rates when they borrow. That's Lake Michigan Credit Union. Bob Sack alongside Jason Hutton, and it has been a game that we anticipated for a long time, Jason, because we wanted to see it as a measuring stick for Calvin in this first year. And tell you what, it is a measuring stick that has really been tested today by a really good Alma team. 45-6. The Scots have scored early and often this afternoon, and their defense, I think, what's really impressed me. But let's get you a quick rundown on the scoring summary. Alma struck first on a 41-yard field goal by Josh Hernandez. Made it 3-0 with 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. On the ensuing possession, Carter St. John hit Zach Poff for a 62-yard TD pass, made it 9-0. Still in the first quarter, Eddie Williams scored on a 4-yard TD run to make it 16-0. It was 16-0 after the end of the first quarter. In the second quarter, Alma scored on their first possession again. Williams with his second TD tally of the day, a 10-yard touchdown run to make it 23-0. It was 29-0 when St. John hit Lotterman for 35 yards and a TD with 5 minutes to go in the first half. Calvin would score their lone touchdown on Jair Harden's 65-yard run with 5:19 to play, made it 29-6. But the Scots weren't done. They scored 2 more TDs. Khalil Brown, a 35-yard TD run. Devin Frenchko, a 67-yard pass from St. John. And then Hernandez tacked on a field goal in the final seconds to make it 45-6 at half. These statistics are rather stunning. The total yards, well, I'm going to turn this one to you because you're the first one to notice it. It's a staggering number for this Alma offense.
We watched the first half, Bob, and there's no way to say it other than it was total domination by Alma, but I didn't think there was 520 yards of total offense from Alma in the first half. I've never seen that. In all my life, I've never seen a team go over 500 yards and a half, and Alma has 200 on the ground, 320 through the air, and wow. That's a wow.
It's been the big play, and it's also been just methodical drives, too. Chunk yardage on the rushing game. I've been impressed with their running game. Carter St. John today, 14-23 for 319, 3 TDs. Eddie Williams rushed 11 times for 73 yards and a touchdown. So it has just been, from all aspects, they have dominated offensively.
Well, and as Coach Figg told Levi there at the half, we need to match their physicality, and that's where you get 200 rushing yards to 89. Alma's just more physical at the point of attack, and of course 65 of the 89 for Calvin came on one play. So trying to match the physicality, that's a tall order for Calvin, but they have 30 minutes here in the second half to try to do just that. But I'll tell you what, Alma's an angry football team and playing like it all half.
We talked at the outset. I thought perhaps Calvin could run the football, but outside of Harden's 65-yard run, it has been tough sledding in there. And again, credit, you talked about that front seven, Evan Eastman, the linebackers, just doing a great job. And I think Chase Bradman, of course, has been running for his life a lot of the day, but the accuracy has just been a little off. Receivers had a couple of 2-3 grabs that they could have had. You know, when you play a good team, you have to do everything really, really well, and that hasn't happened today for the Knights.
Yeah, you know, Calvin has not been a great running team this season. They've been a much better passing team, in my opinion, so I thought they'd have to throw the football to have success on offense, and they just haven't been able to do that as well. Just 75 yards passing here in the first half, and, you know, they were going to need to be probably double that to be effective, you know, against a team like Alma.
All right, we go to commercial break here, enjoying the Calvin Marching Band under the director of Steve Suddeth, their first ever marching performance for the Calvin Marching Knights. Doing a great job out there, Dr. Steve Suddeth with the Calvin Knights Marching Band. When we come back on the Lake Michigan Credit Union halftime show, we'll be joined by Tyler Amadon, the president of the Calvin University Alumni Board. That's a hell ahead on the Lake Michigan Credit Union halftime show. This is Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Talk Radio and Michigan Sports Radio.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
I love working downtown Grand Rapids, being able to go to class and then come here and do work where the theory that I learned in the classroom really did apply.
I think the Calvin interns, they have this well-balanced background, right? I also think that Calvin does a really nice job preparing them in communication.
I think the Calvin Network is phenomenal, and that is a huge help of making me feel comfortable knowing that my education is preparing me super well for the rest of my life. So knowing that I can see people being successful in their lives who went through the same educational system as me is very encouraging.
Back here at Grand Rapids Christian High School, it's halftime. Alma on top 45-6. Key stat of the game today brought to you by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, Capital and Risk Management Services supporting Knight Nation's financial and risk management needs. With strategic solutions for a secure tomorrow, reach out to Russ Klausing at 312-458-4523. That's Capital and Risk Management Services. Bob Sack alongside a special guest here as we move on in the Lake Michigan Credit Union halftime show, joined by Tyler Amadon, a 1993 grad, former baseball player at Calvin University, currently the principal at Denver Christian Middle School in Colorado. Great to have you back in town this week, and thanks for joining us today. You've just finished 2 days here in town with the Calvin Alumni Board. After spending 2 days back on campus, what's been your impressions of Calvin University coming back?
Oh, it's always great to be back. I mean, you can feel the energy out here in the stadium, and there is definitely a buzz. The beginning of the year is always awesome. You've got parents and new students, prospective students. It's just been a real blast. The energy being around the admissions team and learning about them, and spending some time with President Elzinga, who is a great leader. He's doing a fantastic job. And then the alumni board is just a phenomenal board. They're from all over the U.S. And Canada, and just learning with them and from them. It has just been a blast. But yeah, they're long days. I mean, it's 2 packed days of meetings. And then the Heckman Library, it's incredible. The first phase of the Common Union. Oh boy.
Tyler, you're in Denver. chapter of alums in Denver.
Yeah.
That is an example of chapters throughout the country.
Sure.
What does it look for an alum? What does it look like for an alum to be connected to Calvin, even though they're 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 miles away?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, the word I think of is intentionality. I mean, you just have to be intentional. I can't come out to the Saturday football games, but I can watch them online. I can listen to you guys. And so it's intentionality. It's when we host events in Denver or wherever town it is, go to the events, attend the events, whether it's watching the rivalry games with basketball. But yeah, we do host events from time to time, and so it takes some intentionality on really getting out to see those. And we have about 1,500 alumni in Colorado. So there's a responsibility on my part to make sure that they feel connected and communicated with throughout the year.
And you've also been a Calvin parent.
Oh, yeah.
Proud grad. Congratulations of a
yes.
2023 grad. What's been your perspective of Calvin University, not only as the president of the alumni board, but as a parent?
Oh, my word. I could go on and on, but I know there's a second half that wants to get going. Well, first of all, my son is named after my baseball coach here at Calvin, Jeff Pettinga. And so that is, of course, a special connection. He came here with the intention on playing basketball, and his knee had other ideas. And then at that point, all these doors opened for him. A girl asked him one time, hey, you want to join the dance guild? Well, dancing is not my son's gig. And he did it, and he loved it. And he continued on with the dance guild, and he was an RA. And now he's in his second year as a PhD student in organic chemistry. And so from an academic perspective, he's crushing it. He's doing great. But yes, having my son come to the camps year over year, all the way from Denver, the basketball camps, and now being a graduate is a pretty special feeling. There's no doubt.
Tyler Amidon, the president of the Calvin Alumni Board, thanks for joining us. Thanks for making the trip back to Michigan this weekend. Great to have you here. Great to meet you.
You as well.
And keep up the wonderful work with the Calvin Alumni Board.
Thank you.
When we return, we'll talk more about this outstanding homecoming weekend. Take you down to the field for a couple of special guests. That's coming up. This is the Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Sports Radio and Talk 1230 WTKG.
Applied Innovation is excited to celebrate more than 35 years of helping our customers grow. Starting as a printer, copier, and fax dealer, Applied has evolved into a complete office technology provider to include managed IT services and workflow automation.
What sets Applied apart is really our why. That's at our core, a passion for service, for people, for business. If we're at service to one another, then we can take great care of the customer. Happy people take great care of customers, and we just happen to sell technology.
Big E's Sports Grill, your next destination for any occasion.
With incredible entertainment and amazing food that makes you want to come back for more.
Family memories are made.
Where sports are enjoyed and friends gather.
Cheers to good times, great friends, and a place where the game's always on. Only at Big E's.
Alma on top 45-6 over Calvin. Calvin's 2024 homecoming weekend began on Thursday with the annual Distinguished Alumni Awards dinner. 3 incredible grads were honored. Jim Olthoff from the class of 1980 is the chief metrologist for the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Sean Blanton from 1987 is the founder of Carnegie Mellon's Advanced Chip Test Laboratory. And our Young Alumni Award winner is 2009 grad Irene Efren, who is the co-founder of the Bandung Philharmonic Orchestra in Indonesia. Calvin Jr., Levi Suda, is our sideline reporter today, and he's down in the field with 2 of these award winners. Levi?
Thank you, Bob. I'm here with 2 of our Distinguished Alumni Award winners for the year, Jim Olthoff and Irene Efren. First of all, congratulations. This is a huge award for you guys. Now, when you were in school, could you ever imagine a Calvin football homecoming game? Jim, we'll start with you.
No, honestly, I would never have expected it, but it's great. The energy of the fans and the band was amazing. So,
Irene?
Well, I'm from Indonesia, so this is my first time ever watching an American football game. The energy, the passion, and the excitement, I think it means great things for Calvin in the future.
Irene, we have a brand new startup program here, and you've started something of your own too. You started a Philharmonic orchestra in Indonesia. What would you say to alums that want to venture out and be able to do stuff like that?
Well, when you graduate from Calvin, you've got a great education and you've got youth on your side. So use that to fuel up whatever you need to do. Just go for it.
Thank you. Now, Jim, you've done things for our country that no one has ever seen before. What would you say to these hardworking young men, our student athletes out here? What words of advice would you give to them?
I would say just be bold. God's going to open doors in front of you, and sometimes it may not look like it goes along with your plan, but he's got a plan, so be bold and step through those doors and just trust God.
Thank you. Back up to you, Bob.
Thanks, Levi. Great conversations with Jim and Irene, and of course, congratulations to Sean as well. Just 3 examples of the incredible Calvin alums that are influencing their world and variety of locales and continents around the globe. Well, back here in Grand Rapids, we come to the close of this halftime. Jason Hutton, 45-6. If you're Trent Figg, what do you try to accomplish in the second half?
You need to get some positives. You need something to build on going into the bye week, right? 'Cause it's going to be a long 2 weeks before you play again. So you need something to build on, whether that be moving the football on the ground, throwing it, finding some guys to light a spark, and defensively, just win first down. Get them off schedule a little bit and don't allow 500 yards in the second half.
A staggering number that if you just joined us, Calvin has scored early. Alma has scored early and scored often. 520 total yards have led to 45 points. Scots won the toss and deferred in the first half, so they will receive the kick to begin this second half.
I'm going to guess maybe we see Carter St. John 1 series in the second half. That would be my guess. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Be interesting to see on the Calvin side, too, how Trent Figg goes to the bench, how much we see Drake Irwin or Hayden Slagers, the 2 outstanding freshman quarterback. Those guys have really tutored well underneath Chase Bradman, and they have come along nicely here during fall camp and at the early part of the season. And we learned this week they both have a special name as backup quarterbacks for Chase.
Yeah, they call him Uncle Chase because he's a few years older than them. I think we'll see both Slagers and Drake Irwin here in the second half. Obviously, Chase Bradman is the starting quarterback for this football team. That doesn't change, but you're going to get your younger guys just an opportunity to develop because, next year there'll be somebody other than Bradman playing quarterback.
Booming kickoff by Evan Raymond sails through the end zone. Be 1st and 10 at the 25 for Carter St. John. Carter St. John, by the way, great story too. A Division III All-American, has led a charge of D3 quarterbacks around the country in a D3 quarterback program called Quarterbacks for Cancer, raising money for cancer needs throughout America. And he's got, I think, 43 quarterbacks who have coalesced in this group. And this young man from Indianapolis has done a terrific job on and off the field for the Scots. 1st and 10, he isn't a quarterback. He'll give it to Khalil Brown. A lot of room around the left side, turns the corner and motors his way out over the 35 to the 37, a gain of 12.
Paul Vanderbloek made another tackle. They had him for 7 in the first half. Felt like more.
He and Kolanowski were busy as secondary guys in run support. Brown, the sophomore from Detroit, has got it again, probing the left side out over the 40 to the 42.
Of course, we have not seen much Hunter Hogan playing on defense. Yeah, he's banged up. He's played a lot of snaps through 4.5 games, and you just try to pick your spots with him.
2nd and 6 for the Scots as we start this second half from their own 41. Brown behind good blocking on that left side. Powers ahead out over the 45 to the 48, another first down.
And this is tough when you're Alma, right? You're up 39, you're running the football, but they're a tempo offense. They're not huddling, they're getting to the line, they're going, and they're moving the football.
Isaiah Hill retreated on that last play from his lineman spot to make the tackle. Here's a rollout by St. John. He finds Brock Miller along the right sideline, driven out of bounds by Mertens for a short gain to the 49. J.B. Couch, the center from his hometown in Alma, up over the ball for the Scots. 3 receivers out to the wide side, the left side, stacked on that left side. Quick tunnel screen to Frenchko. He makes a move on DeHoop, but DeHoop recovers nicely and shirt tails him down along the left sideline at the 43, just shy of the first down. So 3rd and 1 for Alma at the Calvin 43.
That's another thing that Alma's done so well, is getting the passes out quickly into space. That's pulled up the secondary, and that's allowed Alma to hit those big plays over the top as well, because they just have really good athletes out there.
Only the 2nd catch of the day for Frenchko, the All-American receiver. Eddie Williams on 3rd down and 1, slashes over the left side, has a first down, dragged down by Nordhaus and Kolanowski. Trevor Mertens was there as well. Another first down, and Scott's efficient here to start this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they just feel like anything they can call is working right now. You know, the short pass, the long pass, the inside run, outside run. It's all been effective for the Scots. That's
Play
backwards.
fake to Williams, swings it out to Sullivan on the right flat outside the numbers. Slips out of a Noah Funk tackle there, but then is corralled by Richard Wiggins, and Nordhaus picked up just a yard. Good pursuit.
I wonder if that'll go down as a rush, because that looked backwards to me, and I was thinking to myself, there's no way they're running a double pass at 45-6. I thought it was going to be a double pass.
They give him a 1-yard gain on that. I think you're right. We'll call it a run to Eddie Williams. He's now the running back to St. John's right. St. John fakes to him, now rolls right, finds an open receiver. That's Poff for near a first down at the 28. Jair Nolan on the coverage, just shy, 3rd and about a foot at the 28-yard line. Quickly to the line comes Alma. 3 receivers out to the right on 3rd. Give him the first down. It's 1st and 10. Eddie Williams takes the handoff, finds a big hole up the middle. He's going to sprint to the end zone for the touchdown. Great block. J.B. Couch just sealed that middle. Richard Wiggins vacated the spot, and Eddie Williams gets his 3rd rushing touchdown of the day.
That's 80 more yards and 600 yards of total offense for Alma here in this football game. They've just done whatever they wanted, and boy, Eddie Williams having a day running it. The play before that, the Carter St. John roll eye, that's where he's at his best. You know, get him outside the pocket. He's a magician with the football, finding his receivers. Almost really tough to stop.
Hernandez pounds the extra point through, and with 11:37 to go, it is Alma 52, Calvin 6. Hey, if you're coming to Grand Rapids for a Calvin home game or any other university event this year, your home for accommodation is the Hilton Garden Inn, less than 1 mile south of campus. And while you're there, catch all the games on the big screens at Big E's Sports Grill. Today's 3rd quarter is brought to you by Skipper No Strink Wealth Management, providing personal financial plans tailored to your goals and initiatives. That scoring drive, 75 yards in just 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Capped off by Eddie Williams' 3rd touchdown run of the game. Drive summary presented by Paris Motors. Find your next drive at Paris Motors, a fantastic selection of used cars to meet your specs and budget right here in Grand Rapids.
Just about as good of a day as you could ask for, isn't it, Bob? 73 degrees, nice little breeze, beautiful sunshine.
Stunning, spectacular Saturday afternoon. Really, the weather this season has been outstanding. Whether it's
really good.
You covering ball games on Friday nights in the high school scene or college, we have just had phenomenal weather all season long.
See, the wind is a factor. It's twice now blown the ball off the tee, which of course means you have to bring in someone to hold it.
It was 23-0 after the first quarter. I checked that, 16-0 after the first quarter. And Alma's offense has continued to roll. But I tell you what, I thought Alma could move the football as the bouncing kick grabbed by Neuenhaus at the 19. Angles to the right sideline outside the numbers at the 30 and is pushed out of bounds. Flag comes in late. Ethan Patrick with the tackle there, but let's see what the flag is. Usually a blocking infraction of some sort.
Which is super unfortunate because it was a good return by Neuenhaus, who follows his blockers and gets outside to the right. Got the ball all the way out to the 40-yard line. Certainly a positive there for Calvin, but the official's going to sort out this penalty, and It's usually not good for the kicking team.
Dave
There is
Driscoll
no
with the
foul
call.
on the play. First down.
There you go.
So it works
Good for
out.
the Knights. Good field position to start this first drive of the third quarter. Chase Bradman going back to work. 11 of 22 today through the air for Bradman. Good to see Hunter Hogan back in there. He's slot left. Well, they've really hemmed him in all afternoon. Jair Nolan's the running back on 1st and 10. Looks at a four-man front. Gives it to Nolan. Angles to the right sideline. Bounces it outside again as a first down as he jitterbugs his way inside Alma territory to the 46-yard line. But that's his bread and butter, isn't it? That off-tackle play. Bryce Fredenberg over to push him out of bounds, but he loves to bounce it out.
Pulled the center that time. Mike Liggett, the former Rockford Ram, got out there, and they had a nice block to spring Harden.
Three-man front on 1st and 10. Harden's got it again, this time right up the gut. A little power this time from Jair. He plows his way all the way to the 38.
Pushes forward for 7 yards.
Swallowed up in that secondary and linebacking crew of Alma.
Calvin coming out running the football here in the third quarter. 2 positive plays. Does a couple things, moving the football a little bit and saving your defense.
Play fake. Bradman to throw. Lofts it down the right sideline. He's got a man. Mishmerheisen inside the 10, down to the 5. He beat Massenberg, and for the first time today, Jason, the combination of Bradman and Mishmerheisen hooks up.
Well, you run the football a couple times, you bring the safeties up, and this is what I thought maybe Calvin could do early in this game, and that's find Mishmerheisen like that. Chase just hadn't had time. That time, good protection and led to the big play.
1st and goal from the 3. The give is to Harden over right guard, and he romps into the end zone for the touchdown. Calvin Knights. Jair Harden with his second TD run of the day, set up by that big pass from Bradman to Mishmerheisen, and it's 52-12.
Very much a positive there for Calvin. A really good drive there, and a lot of starters still out there for Alma College, so certainly that's something you can build on if you're Trent Figg and the Knights. An excellent drive that time, running the football, the one big pass to Mishmerheisen, and then the touchdown run, the second of the game for Jair Harden.
Salorfino on for the extra point after that Harden TD run. And the kicker pounds it through. 52-13 with 10:07 to play. Time now for today's Calvin Sports Report, presented by Lake Michigan Credit Union. Highlighting this time Calvin women's cross-country team under the direction of head coach Nicole Kramer. Currently ranked 5th in the country. The Knights are coming off a 2nd place finish at their own night invitational last weekend. And we're led by senior Jenna Alma, who took 1st place individually and was named Division III National Runner of the Week for her performance. That's today's Women's Sports Report, presented by Lake Michigan Credit Union, where members really like earning more when they save and paying less when they borrow. Good touchdown drive by Calvin, answering Alma's TD to start the third quarter. Jair Harden running in from 2 yards out, capping a 62-yard drive in 2 minutes and 37 seconds. A drive summary presented by Paris Motors. Find your next drive at Paris Motors, a fantastic selection of used cars to meet your specs and budget here in Grand Rapids. Hayden Slager's kickoff bounces through the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10. And let's see, Jason, if Jason Couch goes with his All-American quarterback here.
He does, yeah. Carter St. John in the huddle. I guess they've got 90% of the team in the huddle, though, so maybe he won't run out to the field. But it looks like after Calvin scored that touchdown, we might see St. John for another possession. Calvin still got their starters out there on defense. Yep, St. John runs out, so Alma not done yet, apparently.
Jair Harden now with his 4 touchdowns on the ground. Team leading rushing touchdowns for Calvin. From the 25, 1st and 10, the ball at the right hash for Carter St. John. Sends Coffey in motion to the left. Fakes to Williams, now rolls to the right. Flag comes in, should be holding. He's going to outrace the Calvin defense to the sideline, but this one should come back.
Good coverage that time by Calvin. You know, they showed press man on the outside with Jair Nolan, but he dropped back into his zone. I think confused St. John a little bit.
Holding. Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
Dave Driscoll announces indeed a holding penalty. Penalties have gone well for Calvin today. That is the 4th on Alma for 45 yards. Nice after that 19 penalty outcome last week at Kalamazoo. Penalized just one time, and it was the first play of the game. First defensive play.
Yeah, first offensive play for Alma of the game.
1st and 20 for the Scots. Coffee in motion. St. John fakes to the running back. Tunnel screen complete. To the wide receiver, and that is well diagnosed by Dylan DeHoop.
Yeah, Dylan DeHoop did a good job getting off the block. Noah Funk was the first one there to make him go into DeHoop, who just lowered the shoulder and able to make the play.
Cooper Keene, the Alma receiver who caught that pass. 2nd down and 20 from the 16 for Alma. Clock at 9:22 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 52-13. Scots on top. Coffee in motion now. The big tight end slots out to the right. They'll throw it to Keene again to set up that tunnel screen. He splits a couple defenders, but Kolanowski chased him down at the 28 on a really good tackle to save a big gainer there, setting up 3rd down and 8 now from the Alma 28.
It was the same play. They just flipped the field that time. They ran to the wide side both times, and that time it works a little better than the previous time, but still a chance here for Calvin to get off the field.
Caden Kolanowski now with 11 tackles for Calvin. His safety tandem in that safety, Paul Vanderploeg, has 8. Again, that's a lot of activity for your safeties. 3rd down and 8. Back to throw is St. John. Guns at right sideline. Intended out there along the sideline for Joey Shallow. Good coverage by Jair Nolan. The ball was underthrown, incomplete, and the Knights get off the field here on this 3 and out.
Yeah, man-to-man coverage. Jair Nolan does a good job. We've seen more man from Calvin today than I expected, but no, Nolan in good position there, and ball goes incomplete. Calvin gets a stop. So now, offensively, good drive all the way down and score. Defensively, get a stop. So multiple things for Calvin to build on here in the 2nd half.
Bryce Kemp on to kick for the Scots. Low spiral, fielded by Kolanowski at the 40. Slips out of Massenberg's tackle at the 42, and then is snowed under right there by Drew Bradley, and it's 1st and 10. Let's go down to Levi Sluter on the sideline.
The energy is still just super high down here. The Knights are encouraging each other. They keep pushing each other to keep playing the Knight way. That last touchdown could lead to some more points, which could spark a comeback. We're looking forward to this drive. Let's go Knights. Back to you, Bob.
1st and 10 from the 41. Bradman with Harden to his left hip. They'll fake the reverse to Dabowski, and then back to throw is Bradman. He's hit as he tried to throw it, but I think they're going to call it a fumble. Jumping on it and recovering it for Alma was Jamie McDavid. I'm not sure who made it. Was Evan. Who else?
Evan
Jason.
Eastman,
Evan
absolutely.
Eastman came in from the right side and just marred up that well-planned reverse pass. Caused the fumble.
He's just so quick off the ball right now. He's just able to get around the offensive lineman, and he's been a nuisance for Calvin all day long. And I want to go back to the punt return. It doesn't matter now, right? To turn it over. I almost got great field position. I thought Kolanowski did a good job of coming up to field that line drive punt. Hidden yardage there. If that bounces, it could have taken another 15, 20 yards into Calvin territory.
8:12 to go. They set up the screen on 1st down to Williams. Oh, he slips out of a tackle right at the line of scrimmage and then bolts his way down the left sideline to the end zone for the touchdown. Eddie Williams, check that, Jordan Williams on the reception with his first TD of the day. And boy, just when you thought Calvin maybe had a few good things going, the big hit by Eastman forces the fumble that McDavid recovered. And on the very first play, Alma strikes with the big touchdown pass on the screen from St. John to Jordan Williams.
Austin Fennick was trying really hard, the big fellow, the nose tackle, to get there. He ran from his nose position all the way to the end zone. But Alma punches it in again.
Kick is on its way and good, and with 8:02 to go, it's 59-13, Alma.
We had some score updates earlier from around the MIAA. Adrian was trailing at Albion. 21-7 was the score in that game. Hope was up at the half on Trine, 28-0, and Kalamazoo trailing at Olivet, 14-6. That was about 30 minutes ago or so. We had those updates.
Those score updates from around the MIAA presented by NAI Wasinski of West Michigan, providing all facets of commercial real estate services. Hey, if you haven't stopped by Calvin's campus recently, we talked a little bit about this earlier, you'll want to this fall, the new soccer stadium, which is being dedicated today. Track and field complex, state-of-the-art football building, all highlight the outdoor athletics improvements. A beautiful commons union provides incredible gathering spaces for students. Tyler Amadon referred to that in our halftime interview. New media production spaces, and a cadaver lab and virtual nursing simulation lab are among all the classroom upgrades to highlight. Check out all the ways Calvin's building up the student experience on your next visit to campus.
I can update the Hope score. They now lead Trine 42-0. That game in the second half.
Here it's 59-13. Alma rolling over Calvin in this Calvin inaugural homecoming game. Here's another kickoff that's going to curl towards the sidelines. That'd be called a draw in golf. I mean, he just set that thing up there, and once it got to about the 35, it just
kicking team.
turned to the left.
To the 35-yard line.
You would appreciate that golf shot if you were trying to 5-iron in from 180.
I've always been a fade player. I would love to draw the golf ball, but has not been my game. Albion has extended its lead over Adrian to 31-14 now. That game late in the third quarter.
That is Calvin's next opponent on October 19th. Interestingly, all of the MIAA schools are off next week. It is mid-season bye week. 1st and 10 for Chase Bradman at his own 35. Jair Harden, the running back, he'll fake to him and roll left, dump it underneath to Carter Balsman, a little tight end flare pass, and he motors his way up over the 45 to the 48 before he's knocked down there by Jet King from Caledonia. 13-yard gain, the tight end on a reception from Chase Bradman.
Another athletic play by Biles. Football a little low. He's able to field it and stay on his feet. I thought Jude Klunder did a good job blocking downfield for Bilesman on that play as well.
Klunder in motion, left to right. Bradman back to throw deep down the sideline, and it is over the head of everybody, almost picked off by Brock Boudry. Good coverage out there. Ryan West was right with Mishmerheisen, and safety help over the top from Brock Boudry.
Yeah, that time Alma wasn't falling for it. They got beat on the last possession, now 2 possessions ago, by Mitch Merheisen. That time they had double coverage on the big fella, so that one was thrown incomplete.
That last possession where Eastman forced the fumble, the 6th fumble this year that Alma's defense has forced. So they are a ball-hawking group. Right now they face 2nd and 10, 3-man front. Here comes the pressure. Quick pass out on the left flat to Seth Anderson. He splits a couple defenders and is tackled at the 45 by Jet King again.
Evan Eastman not currently on the field for Alma, so Bradman getting a few extra seconds to get that one out of there.
Jet King's a big kid, 6'3", 235 from Caledonia.
He used to play quarterback in high school. Never a starter, but was always a guy they could go to if they needed to.
3rd and 3 from the 45. Same play to the other side. Jude Klunder on the wide side of the field catches the tunnel screen, picks up the first down to the 40. Ryan West tripped him up there. Now the short passing game, moving the ball a little bit for Calvin. I love the way Chase Bradman spreads it around. There's so many receivers involved. Back to throw. Here comes the rush. Boy, they avoid a holding penalty on Anderson. He finds Mishmerheisen on the right sideline, complete down at the 27. And Bradman hit as he threw it.
I realize that Alma's rotating some guys in through on defense now here in a 59-13 game, but this is the Chase Bradman we have seen this year. He's much more accurate and throwing the football much better here in the second half. Looked really good coming out of the half.
1st and 10 from the 27. Quick pass out in the right flat, complete again. That is Mishmerheisen. Hit right as he caught it at the 26. Jet King, who's didn't call his name much in the first half, but boy, he's been active here in the second half.
So they ran the football effectively on that scoring drive in their first possession of the second half, but now throwing it, the short pass is working for Calvin. We'll see what they do here on 2nd down.
From the 25, 2nd down and 8. The give is to Harden. Sweeps around the left end, turns the corner, and picks up near the first down.
Picks up 6.
Coming back to track him down on that play was Evan Walters, defensive lineman out of Zeeland. 3rd down and 2 at the 20.
Running behind Caden Berg and Braden Steinbecker there on that left side.
3 receivers out to the right. Now Bilesma in motion. Fake to Harden. Bradman will roll to his right. Tries to keep it himself for that first down. It's going to be just shy as he was tripped up at the 29 by Brock Boudry. 4th down and a yard. I'm sure Trent Figg will go for it here.
And he's going to call timeout to talk about it. They were trying to run it with Bradman that time around the right side, but Alma making a nice play. And we saw consecutive runs there after we had seen a lot of passing that was working well for Calvin.
Second charge, timeout of the half.
Big 4th down play will be brought to you by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, Capital and Risk Management Services has supported Knight Nation's financial and risk management needs with strategic solutions for a secure tomorrow. Reach out to Russ Klausing at 312-458-4523. That's Capital and Risk Management Services. Big 4th down, and as Levi reported to us down on the field, I think good to see the Knights showing some life here in this second half, despite the big margin. Talk a lot about Alma, though. Jason Couch has done a great job as an alum from 1997. Really created a culture with Alma. If you watch their home games, you'll see he actually coaches on the sideline in a kilt. Part of a term called kilt style. It's been synonymous with Alma football here over the last few years.
No kilt today, Bob. It is a little disappointing.
4th down from the 20-yard line for Chase Bradman. He needs to pick up 3 to keep the drive alive. Out of the gun, straight back to throw. Guns at right side, incomplete over the outstretched hands of Jude Klunder at the 15-yard line. Good coverage there by Bryce Fredenberg, the safety, who had read that well and came up on the wide receiver. And the Knights turn it over on downs with 4:58 to go in the 3rd, down 59-13.
Just trying to hit Klunder on the out there. Bradman had good time, but excellent coverage by Alma. Nobody really open for Bradman to throw it there, but it's 4th down, so you try to squeeze it in there, and Scott's made the play.
Davin Reef is now into the game at quarterback for Alma, so we get our first look, actually second look. Reef did play for 1 play in the first half, and he has replaced Carter St. John. It appears that the All-Americans day is done. On 1st and 10, Reef will keep it, running to his left as a first down to the 33. Dylan DeHoop with another secondary tackle along with Isaiah Hill. Reef, the 5'8", 175-pound senior from Frankenmuth, doesn't throw much, just 1 completion this year on 2 attempts, but he does run the ball well.
Well, no starters in the game for Alma at the skill positions, but the starting offensive line is still out there, and they're still making holes.
John Allen now in the game at running back. He's able to run to his right for 7 yards.
Luke Booth out of Montague's at right tackle right now for Alma. Ran behind him on that one.
Starting to see a few substitutions on that offensive line. On 2nd and 3, Reef slings it out left flat, complete to Keene. Cooper Keene, who's been an active receiver for the Scots, has a first down. That offense is humming, even with that backup group in there.
Obviously, in this 3-3-5 defense that you talked about earlier, Bob, the 3 safeties play a big role. We haven't seen Hunter Hogan much on defense. I think the guys that have been out there have done a good job, led by Kolanowski.
John Allen on 1st and 10 tries the right side. Richard Wiggins got him by the shirt and threw him to the ground for no gain.
Obviously, Vanderploeg's been great as well, so those 2 guys have done a good job in the back end. Martin's played well at his middle linebacker position. We haven't seen him much here in this 3rd quarter once this game's got out of hand. So certainly some things to build around. Obviously, you talk about the way Alma's built their program up. It takes time. Calvin will get there.
2nd down and 10 from the 46. Davin Reef out of the gun, turns, gives to Allen. He's hit behind the line, but shakes a tackler and then runs to his right. Can't elude Kalen Kolanowski again. still picked up 2 on the play. Sets up 3rd and 7 from the 49 with 2:50 to go in the third quarter.
You have those 3 safeties. Kolanowski's kind of the guy who's almost like the extra linebacker, the guy who will walk up to the line of scrimmage, the guy who really supports in the run game. He's done a nice job. It can also cover as well.
Reef out of the gun. He'll roll to his right, being chased by Gabe Ahmed and Fennick, and he'll just wheel it out of bounds. And the Knights get off the field, stopping Alma on that 3rd down and 7 with 2.5 to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, you can see Reef much more comfortable running the football. Great job that time. First by Ahmed to flush him, and then by Fennick to apply the pressure late. And Reef just throwing it out of bounds. Good job by the Calvin defense. Something to build on.
Bryce Kemp on to punt. Caden Kolanowski back to receive. Kolanowski from Goodrich. Outstanding, versatile player. Led the Martians to the state championship game 2 years ago against South Christian.
Yeah, it's an excellent program at Goodrich for sure. And so you know he's coming out of a well-coached situation, and he's having a great day today for sure, playing well.
He'll let this one roll and down at the 15-yard line, where Calvin will take over 1st and 10 from the 15. Well, it's interesting too. You know, you look at the roster, Jason, of the Alma Scots, and there's a lot of West Michigan kids on the roster, and that's certainly because, having done such a great job, Jason Couch is recruiting well. But that's going to get harder now, because you know Trent Figg's going to recruit in his backyard. He's not going to let Alma come over to the west side of the state and get some of these players.
There's a lot of talent in West Michigan. We've seen it. We've seen it at the D2 level. We'll see it. Continue to see it at the D3 level.
Chase Bradman now out of the game at quarterback. Hayden Slagers, the freshman from Ontario, California, in as the signal caller, and he'll, on his first play, keep it around left end with a running play for 4 yards.
Yeah, Slagers just showing good speed there. Get the corner, nice little gain.
McCoy Baxter in at wide receiver, as is Caleb Dubowski. Back to throw is Slagers. Quick out, complete to Seth Anderson at the 26. Flag comes in late, though.
Complete to number 8, Seth Anderson.
Andrew Berg got tangled up.
Palms up for Berg. That's usually not good.
With Anderson, Jack Anderson, the fine senior lineman who's one of the captains.
Holding. Offense, number 72.
And they're going to get Andrew Berg for the penalty.
The down remains 2.
I think Berg's played well tonight. You know, it's been a tough night for that offensive line. He's kind of started at right tackle, played a lot of left tackle in this game. It's called for the penalty, but he's done a lot of good things, I think, tonight.
So the first down pass to Anderson is negated. Calvin will have it 2nd down and 15 from their own 10. Hayden Slagers, dual threat guy with Jackson Cook to his right. Fakes to Cook, rolls to his right, dumps it in the flat, complete to Caleb Dubowski. He's able to wiggle his way for a couple up to maybe the 11. So not much there. 3rd down and 15.
That's the 3rd time we've seen that play. Kind of a little option there for the quarterback to either run it or fling it out there. Every time it's been thrown out there, and the Alma corners have just done a really nice job against that play.
Slagers out of the gun to throw. Here's a seam route. Too far for Dubowski. It's picked off at the 25-yard line. A flag comes in that'll negate the return, but a good interception by Preston Marlott, who stepped from his safety spot right in front of Caleb Dubowski on that seam route. I'm not sure Hayden Slagers ever saw him.
Yeah, an excellent play by Marlott, who's had a really good game today. We've seen him blitz from his safety spot there. Excellent in coverage to make the play. I do believe that there'll be a penalty on Alma after the interception, so the Scots will have the football, but they'll be backed up instead of being inside the 10.
2 flags in on that play. Officials conferring there with Dave Driscoll, the referee. One of them came in late after the play, Jason, so likely a dead ball foul to go along with this. Likely
After the interception and during the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block, Alma number 90. 15-yard penalty from that spot. Alma keeps the ball 1st down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, Alma number 6. That 15-yard penalty will also be enforced. 1st down, Calvin. Excuse me, 1st down, Alma.
So 30 yards and penalties there for the Scots.
50 to the 30, 30 to the...
With a minute to go here in the third quarter, we'll start their drive not quite in the red zone, as they perhaps thought, but nonetheless on the plus side of the field. 30 yards will take it all the way back to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, the blindside block, they enforced that penalty from the spot of the foul. So that happened back at the 15-yard line, moving it back to the 30. And then the dead ball foul moves it back another 15 to the 45. So it ends up being almost a 40-yard penalty.
From the 45, Davin Reef, the quarterback. With John Allen, the running back. Reef will fake to him, runs it himself around the left side. Trevor Martins wrapped him up there at the 42. Dropped him for a 3-yard gain with 46 seconds to play. So Calvin still with most of their first team or second team defensive unit players in there. Braylon Cox, Richard Wiggins, Jaden Lewis across that front.
They have Dylan DeHoop out at corner, but outside of that, most of the starters are out there. Isaac Nordhaus.
Brady Jacobs now in at the wide side corner on 2nd down and 7. Here's a quick slant route intended for Sullivan at the 30. Good defensive play. Jair Nolan, the defensive back from Georgia.
Yeah,
got a paw on there and knocked it away.
Nolan's another positive coming out of this game. But I mean, he's just kind of been that all year, right? I mean, he's rock solid over there. One of the older guys on this team.
Came to Calvin with Lamar Bell, who the defensive backs coach for Calvin, had coached at Greenville College down south. And Georgia native heading to Michigan. 3rd down and 7. Reef throws to the right sideline. He's got his man complete at the 36. That's Joey Shallow. Close to a 1st down, be just shy. So Jason Couch likely go for it here as the clock ticks down, and then we come to the end of the 3rd quarter. So we've played 3. It's Alma 59, Calvin 13. We'll step aside when we come back. Big 4th down play for the Scots. This is the Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Sports Radio and Talk 1230 WTKG.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
Bob Sack back with Jason Hutton. Here's we start the 4th quarter. The Alma Scots in control today on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Calvin University's first ever homecoming football game. Been a lot of fun, but also been a great exhibition by Alma, as one of the nation's top D3 teams have showed it here today. So we start the 4th quarter. The Scots will go for it on 4th down and 1 from the Calvin 36. Carter St. John's day as the All-American quarterback is over. Davin Reef in at the quarterback spot. He has John Allen to his left hip. And on 4th and 1, they'll give it to Allen. Big hole over the right guard. He's got a 1st down. Jaden Lewis got him along with Paul Vanderplug, but not before Allen, the junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, wiggled his way for the 1st down.
Yeah, just a little trap there. You send a bunch trips out to the wide side. You can draw some attention and pull the guard and get a 1st down.
Stacked receivers to the wide side, the left side. Allen takes the handoff from Reef, runs to his right, and then turns it upfield at the 30 and lunges down to the 26. Richard Wiggins retreating from that nose guard spot to drag him down. Gain of 6, 2nd down and 4.
So Calvin will get a week off next week, kind of regroup a little bit, try to get a little bit healthy, then go to Adrian in 2 weeks and see if they can build on a little something.
John Allen, steady diet of him, carries the pile inside the 20. We're working the right side of that offensive line. Another 1st down to the 16. Great blocking over there by Luke Booth, that aforementioned tackle from here in West Michigan. 1st and 10. Allen takes the handoff again, this time on the right side. Kolanowski stuck him at the 12. Along with a little bit of help, gained 4 more. 2nd and 5 at the 13.
Yeah, it's interesting. Alma is an up-tempo offense here. They're running the ball, trying to work on the clock up big here in the 4th quarter, but they don't huddle, taking their a little bit more time here at the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 5, this time Allen running to the right, near a first down at the 10. Isaiah Hill, pass rush specialist, there to make that stop on the running play. 3rd down from the 12 and 4 for the Scots to go.
Another opportunity for Calvin here, right? 3rd down, chance to make a play defensively, get him into a 4th down situation. Again, it's not going to change the outcome of today's game, but things that you can build on as you move forward to build this program.
2 receivers to the right now, 3. As they send another one in motion, here's a quick pass in the right flat, complete along the right sideline to Dylan Craig. Trevor Martin's over to stop him, very near the marker.
Can't help but be impressed with Paul Vanderploeg. I mean, he just busts through 2 blockers there to make the first hit and slow down the receiver.
Shy of the first down, 4th and 2 from the 9. Allen takes the handoff, finds a big crease over the right side and motors his way down to the 1. Carson Schneerstein saved a touchdown. And the Scots go hurry up here. 1st and goal to go at the 2-yard line. Davin Reef to Allen again, and he caps off the drive with the 2-yard plunge into the end zone. John Allen scores his first TD of the day, and it's 65-13 with 11:49 to play here in the 4th quarter. Good drive by Alma. They really a steady diet of John Allen.
And that's where that tempo can work, right? You convert the 4th down play, running the football between the tackles, get up to the line and just run it again, get the final 2 yards in there. And boy, Alma ran the football extremely effectively all day long.
Josh Hernandez on for the extra point out of the Davin Reef hole, who engineered that drive in that backup quarterback role. Snap is good, and he pounds it through. So with 11:49 to go, it's Alma 66, Calvin 13. Let's go down to Levi Suter. He's got an interesting story on the Alma Scots and just one of the ways, many ways, they've built their culture here with this outstanding football program. Levi?
Hey, Bob. Earlier this year, on April 27th, the Alma Scots traveled 3,000 miles all the way over to Scotland to play the East Kilbride Pirates, a professional team over in Scotland. Listen, they went over there, obviously, to team build. It was a week-long trip, but they went to go get a win, which they did, 74-3. It's a great win for them, great team-building opportunity for the Scots. Back to you, Bob.
Thanks, Levi. Yeah, it's a wonderful example of how Jason Couch has built this program, the culture, the family atmosphere, the support that he's received. And, yeah, when you can go to Scotland and play a little football in April, that's not a bad thing, Jason.
Yeah, how cool is that,
little experience.
Right? You go to little old Alma College to play football, and then you get a trip to Scotland out of the deal. I mean, what a great experience for that group.
On to kick it off is place kicker Will Soulier. Frankenmuth. It's a roster that is dotted really with players throughout the state of Michigan. A few guys outside of Michigan, but largely Michigan-grown roster.
Alma has 720 yards of total offense. They've been pretty balanced. 316 on the ground, 404 through the air.
There will be a day, Jason Hutton, as Soulier bounces it through the end zone. There will be a day where Calvin will have a football game and we'll look back on somebody else's fine, outstanding offensive performance and remember that, you know, 500 yards in total offense wasn't nearly the level of the school record that the defense allowed. They'll think back to this first year and a great Alma team that came in here and took it to the Knights today. But that's just part of being a first-year program. They knew this would be a great challenge today, and I know that Trent Figg will figure out how to learn from this and grow from this and build these players and their confidence and their abilities from this game today. Hayden Slager's back in at quarterback. He has Russell Ronan Dixon to his right. Sends Dubowski in motion, gives it to Caleb Dubowski on a jet sweep. He wheels around the right end before Isaac Vinson meets him there for a gain of 2. at the 28, 27, second down and 8.
Interesting to see how Slagers does here, right? We saw a little spark there in that last drive, but then it, sputtered a little bit.
They go empty on second down. Slagers rolls to his left. He is chased down on a good pursuit by Jalen Dunwoody.
Yeah, so Slager, they like to use his athleticism trying to get outside the pocket there, but Alma was all over it, not letting him get outside the tackle and bringing him down for a loss, forcing Calvin into a third and very long.
Ryan Calhoun also in on that pursuit. Third down and 18. Slagers rolls to his right, guns it right sideline to Paul Bal the fourth. He's got it, but far short of the first down at the 20. And that'll send in the punt team for Calvin. Yeah, that's some. Slagers is a very fleet-footed quarterback, and you saw the speed of the defensive lineman there. Backup defensive lineman chasing him down on that last sack. Logan Knapp.
Knapp's got to work out today.
He sure has. This will be punt number 10 for Logan Knapp. Lazy spiral, grabbed by Joe Debsky at his own 48. Breaks one tackle and then is snowed under at the 47 by a host of maroon shirts. And that's where Alma will take over first and 10. Fans, blood donation is the lifeline that connects you to others and keeps the pulse of our community strong. Every day, someone in your community may need blood. Versity Blood Center of Michigan is the local blood provider, supplying blood for many hospitals across the Midwest. The Calvin University Hope College Blood Battle begins October 1st and will go through November 6th. All Calvin students, alums, and fans are encouraged to show their school spirit and donate blood at a donation center anytime between October 1st and November 6th. To find a donation center in the Midwest, visit versity.org. Make sure your donation counts for Calvin in the Blood Battle contest. Include Knights in the notes. That's Versity Blood Center's Calvin Hope Blood Battle. Made my reservation next week. Go in and note that as a Calvin blood donation. First and 10 for Davin Reef. New running back in the game for Alma is Brian Morgan, junior from Houghton Lake. Richard Wiggins chased him down at the 49 for a gain of 2. Wiggins has been active from that defensive line spot. I'm always impressed when the point of attack is away from a D lineman, but they're able to slide off their block or retreat and track down their runner.
Yeah, Wiggins he's brought a lot of energy today, and I think that's part of that defensive line rotation that Calvin implements. Guys always have a lot of energy, and they showed there for Wiggins for sure.
Second and 6.
Wiggins again.
Wiggins again is there to stop the runner Brian Morgan. No gain. Yeah, maybe a yard. Third down and 5.
And Paul Vanderploeg getting up off the bottom of the pile. He was in on that one as well. It's one thing about this Calvin team, and Coach Figg talked about it there at the half. One thing he liked about his group in the first half is the fight. Like, there's no quitting them. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says, they're still playing hard.
He will spend a few minutes with Levi Suter after the game, and I'm sure he'll say that, Trent. Jason, I know Trent will identify the positives, and he will find a way to build on this, and certainly get a sense for what the standard is in this league. And we saw it today in Alma, and that's a great thing for the Knights to aspire to. Third down and 5. Brian Morgan slashes over the right side, has the first down at the 45. Jaden LaFleur there on the tackle. First down at the 44. So tell me this, we got a chance to see Carter St. John. Had heard so much about him all summer, watched him a little bit last year in their 3-game run in the playoffs. What were your impressions of the All-American quarterback from Indianapolis?
Yeah, he's really good. He looks like a veteran, right? He doesn't rush things. He takes his time. He makes the smart play. And, they had the ability to run the football today, but still they mixed in the pass really well. And you can see what's made St. John so good for so long for him.
Steady diet of Brian Morgan picks up 6 more yards. Matt Zrimick with the stop. Give him 7 to the 37. Second down and 3.
This is valuable for Calvin. You said this at the beginning. This is a real measuring stick to play the 2-time defending MIAA champs, find out where they are. I mean, they'll have 2 weeks now to kind of chew on this and try to move the chains and get a little better.
This is a really good team, Alma.
Yeah.
You think about, they went up to Northern Michigan 2 weeks ago, played a Division II GLIAC team, as Morgan's got it again for another first down over the right side. to the 33. Went up to NMU, to the Superior Dome, and absolutely plundered Northern Michigan. Won it 44-27. Never really a game in doubt. That's how good this program is.
No, that's an excellent point, Bob. I mean, you can look at their schedule and say, well, they lost to River Falls, and, they were down 31-0 and lost to Hope last week. I mean, let's not forget they beat a D2 GLIAC school. They're the two-time defending MIAA champs. If you saw this game today, Alma's really good.
1st and 10 for the Scots from the 33. As the clock ticks inside of 7 minutes. Brian Morgan again, this time over left guard. And it, young man's running hard. Boy, he's the fifth running back we've seen. Eddie Williams started, Jordan Williams, really the two main backs. And then we saw Khalil Brown. He was effective. John Allen essentially had a effective drive on the last series. And now Brian Morgan comes in and keeps it going.
See, at this point, Alma with the big lead in the fourth quarter, they're just going to run the football, and why not? When you've run it for 338 yards, just keep handing it off and running behind their linemen. They'll even their MIAA record at 1-1, go to 3-2 overall, and everybody in the league gets the bye next week.
Morgan with a big hole over the right side, and he'll sprint to the end zone for the touchdown. Brian Morgan puts the Scots over the 70 mark with a 26-yard TD scamper. Big hole over the right side by that offensive line.
We talk about Alma's physicality. Obviously, that's what stood out. And Coach Figg mentioned that at the half. I think speed, too. Like, Alma's a little bit faster right now than Calvin, and that's made a big difference in this game as well.
Hernandez on for the extra point, of which he has had a few of those attempts today.
Let's go now.
5:55 to go. The snap is good. And the kick is good. 73-13. Scots on top. Stay with us after the game for the Big E's post-game show. Don't forget that Big E's is the best place to watch all this weekend's football, just south of Calvin's campus on the Beltline. Big E's post-game show features final stats and analysis and our straight line fence player of the game. With over 30 years of building sanctuary and security, Straight Line Fence provides property owners with the privacy, comfort, and confidence of the perfect fence. Fourth quarter today brought to you by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management, retirement planning that seeks to deliver the retirement outcomes you deserve. Remember, next week is a bye week for the MIAA. Calvin will return to action in 2 weeks at Adrian. Airtime on Michigan Sports Radio is 2:45 Eastern Time, 3 o'clock kick down at Adrian. And last check, Adrian was falling to Albion in the second half. So it'll be real interesting, the back half of this MIAA schedule for the Knights. There's certainly some difficult, tough games as we move through the season, but I think some games that certainly will provide teams that don't quite have the level of excellence here that Alma has showed today, and games that we've already seen Calvin be very competitive in.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of parity at some points in the league. Obviously at the top with Hope and Alma. Albion currently leading that game now 38-27 with 3:17 to play.
Low line drive kick is picked up by Russell Ronan Dixon inside the 20. And then he's hammered at the 24. First to hit him was Cole Konkar. And that's where Calvin will start 1st and 10. Let's see if we see Drake Irwin on this series at all. Nope, still Hayden Slagers. Irwin, the quarterback from Rockford, got in last week at Kalamazoo. 3rd on the depth chart, but did have a package on a goal line situation.
Hope did beat Trine at 42-6 as the Flying Dutchman moved to 5-0 in the season.
Slagers with Ronan Dixon to his left, guns it on the pass, left flat complete outside the numbers and along the sidelines to McCoy Baxter, checked at the right flat. Joe Debski over to make the stop. First down, Baxter, the freshman from Rockford, caught a touchdown pass last week against Kalamazoo. I checked that 2 weeks ago against Anderson is when he caught the DV pass. Slagers to throw again. Oh, he's tripped up Ball is loose on the ground, and they'll say he tried to throw it. The pressure came from the left side. It was Xavier Urquhart who brought the pressure, and they'll call it an incomplete pass.
It's not a fumble. It's got to be intentional, right?
All right.
I mean, it landed 2
Really
feet
on the
from where
field
it
is an
threw it.
incomplete pass. Second down.
No, you're right, Jason. That was, I don't think anybody was in the area.
Not that, I mean, no one's really going to argue. It's 73-13 with 5 minutes to go, but that's what I thought the call was going to be.
2nd and 10 from their own 36. Dabowski in motion from left to right. 3-4 defense shown by Alma. Give us to Russell Ronan Dixon. Finds an alley off the left side. Breaks out of a tackle. Picks up 8 yards before Patrick Coughlin spilled him there. Gain of 9 to the 45. 2nd and 1. 3rd and 1. Check that.
Drew Zeal's in the game at left guard for Calvin. Got some more guys getting in there.
Russell Ronan Dixon again has a first down. Urquhart swallowed him up at the 48, but he was able to lunge for the marker and pick up the first down. Russell Ronan Dixon.
Mary Lacey's in at left tackle. The right guard is Peter DeKreider. Isaiah Luke at right tackle.
1st and 10 from the 48. Slagers will keep it all the way, running to his right. Turns the corner at midfield into Scott's territory down to the 42 before Dawson Studebaker, the junior from Midland Dow, slid over to drop him there. 1st and 10 from the 42. Clock now 4 minutes to go. Russell Ronan Dixon takes the handoff from Slagers. Crashes into the right side of that line. Zane Moore hit him first. Gained about 3.
Big Tyler Porte's in at tight end. Of course, played right here at Grand Rapids Christian High School. You know, he went to Central Michigan out of high school. So I thought he'd be a real factor for Calvin in this game. But the Knights are deep at tight end with Carter Bilesman, Paul Bal the 4th.
2nd and 7 from the 39. Here's a jet sweep right to left by Dabowski. And the Alma defense stretches it out. Drew Bradley chased Dabowski down for no gain. 3rd down and 7 from the 39 with 3:20 to go in this 73-13 game.
Slager's getting some valuable playing time here, right? This is good film for him to watch, learn where he can improve. I mean, potentially he'll be in the running probably for the quarterback job next year.
Out of the shotgun, he takes the snap, rolls right, now tucks and runs upfield right to left. Outside the hash mark on the left side, inside the 25, down to the 20-yard line. Hayden Slagers, big gain before Ish Abdulaziz tracked him down at the 20. 1st and 10 at the 21 with 2:50 to go.
You love the athleticism of Slagers and the vision there. Nice run in that time. Big play by number 2.
Russell Ronan Dixon on the handoff, hit behind the line, falls forward. Zane Moore with another good example of penetration there and drop Dixon for a 1-yard gain. 2:30 to go. Knights up tempo. Trying to get the ball into the end zone here one more time. Jair Harden with their only touchdowns. Here's a shotgun snap to Slagers. He'll run to his right, tries to get to the outside, hit at the 20, breaks that tackle. Initially at the line of scrimmage from Ladarius Abston, and then Abston, as Slagers stumbled, was able to trip him up. 3rd down and 6 now from the 17.
You can see how the playbook changes a little bit with Slagers in there, right? We don't see much design quarterback run with Bradman. Seeing it quite a bit with Slagers.
We've reached the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout. We'll step aside on the Calvin Sports Network here on Michigan Sports Radio and Talk 1230 WTKG.
The best part of grad school would be the connections that you make, not only with your cohort, but with the professors as well.
I felt very supported, and I don't feel alone in the program.
I just really feel like each individual in the program gets a relationship with the professors in a different way that's meaningful to them and is more geared to them.
I'm a grad student at Calvin University. Yay! Okay.
Calvin University's graduate program is expanding again this fall with the addition of a Master of Science in Nursing program. Calvin now offers 12 master's degrees and 10 certificate options for adult learners. So whether you are looking to go part-time or full-time, online or in person, Calvin's got you covered. Discover more at calvin.edu. Stay with us after the game for Big E's post-game show, including Jason Hutton's selection of play of the game. New for this week, by the way, Jason, presented by Capital and Risk Management Services. That's part of the Big E's post-game show coming up. Just moments away. 2 minutes to go. Big 3rd down and 6 for the Knights at the 17-yard line. Dabowski in motion right to left. Slagers will keep on a sweep around the right side. It's going nowhere. Boy, that was Caden McCullough, who again slid through there from that linebacker spot. And on 4th down, Calvin will attempt a field goal by Sal Ruffino.
Caden McCullough, the outstanding linebacker out of Allendale, you know, he's a true freshman. Watching him last year in the Coopersville game, week 9, I swear he made every play. Incredible high school player.
Yeah, he looked good on that one. So Ruffino's on for a 39-yard field goal attempt with 87 seconds to go in this football game. Chase Bradman will hold. Rowan Stewart will snap. Ruffino's tried one today. It was blocked. This one is on its way, and he slid it just off to the left. Pulled it a little bit. And Ruffino can't connect on that one. So Alma will have one more possession here with 1:13 to play.
Yeah, just looking to get some more points there. Obviously some more work. Your kicking game, you figure that'll be important in some games down the stretch here. And Ruffino's been good this year, but 0 for 2 on field goals today and 1 for 2 on extra points.
New quarterback, the 3rd quarterback of the day for Alma is Tyler Herzog. He's a freshman from Rochester on the east side of the state. On 1st and 10. Another new running back in there for Alma as well. He's got the ball in a lot of room outside to the right, out over the 35 to the 37. That is Isaiah Cavanis, who played right here the last couple years on this field for Grand Rapids Christian.
Yeah,
Isaiah Cavanis.
He was the Eagles quarterback last year as a senior, but played running back as a junior, was a really good player, and now a true freshman at Alma College, and made a nice play there. Caden Boldick came up, thought he had a chance at him at the line of scrimmage, and Cavanis stepped right through it.
Yeah, good story on that kid. Cavanis wasn't supposed to play quarterback. Found out about, 3 weeks before the season started that the Christian high school quarterback was transferring and thrust into that role and did a really nice job. And now finding himself at the next level here at Alma. Scots will go into the victory formation here and take one more snap and finish this one off as they score early, score often, and roll to a 73-13 victory. We'll step aside, take a break here, and when we come back, go down to Levi Suter, who will be downstairs with Trent Figg. That's all ahead. The Big East post-game show coming up on the Calvin Sports Network here on Michigan Sports Radio and Talk 1230 WTKG.
The best part of grad school would be the connections that you make, not only with your cohort, but with the professors as well.
I felt very supported, and I don't feel alone in the program.
I just really feel like each individual in the program gets a relationship with the professors in a different way that's meaningful to them and is more geared to them.
I'm a grad student at Calvin University. Yay! Okay.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
73-13, Alma wins it here today in Grand Rapids. Welcome to the Big East post-game show. Big East is the spot for your post-game hangout, less than a mile south of Calvin's campus on East Beltline. Let's go downstairs. Levi Suter is standing by with Trent Figg. Levi?
Thank you, Bob. Coach Figg, tough loss against a really good Alma team today. What can we expect from the Knights to get through in this bye week and be able to go out and beat Adrian the week after that?
Yeah, so a couple of things. I mean, obviously, Alma's a very well-coached team. Hats off to those guys, their team, and their staff. They did a tremendous job today. Nothing changes with us, man. We serve a great God. Our kids are thankful to be here. Nothing changes. It's all about us all year long. Man, it's all about us. The Knights can't beat the Knights. We came up short today in a big way, but we're going to go battle. One thing you'll see from our kids, man, is our kids don't quit. Our kids love this place. We're going to keep moving forward.
Coach, what can we expect from the Knights for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so the exact same thing, man. Our kids are going to be physical. You saw it here today. Our kids don't quit. We have the right kids in our program, man. They all signed up for this. They've got a ton of grit. We're going to keep grinding every single day.
Thank you so much, Coach. Send it back up to you, Bob.
All right, thank you, Levi. Just really, Jason Hutton, what we expected from Trent Figg, a guy who's with great resolve, will enter this bye week, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But first, just the scoring summary of this one today. It was Alma striking first in the first couple minutes of the game. They drove the length of the field for a field goal from Josh Hernandez, led 3-0. They tacked on 2 more touchdowns in the first half, the first quarter. Carter St. John with a 62-yard strike to Zach Poff for 1 touchdown. Eddie Williams ran for another. It was 16-0 after the first quarter. That lead expanded to 29-0 in the second quarter when Eddie Williams rushed for a 10-yard TD run. Carter St. John was able to then throw to Ty Lauderman for 35 yards and a TD. Later, Calvin would get their first score, a Jair Harden 65-yard TD run to make it 29-6 in the second quarter, but Alma wasn't done. They responded beautifully. If you're watching on TV, you see the TDs there by Eddie Williams, and he was just so dominant with those slashing to those big holes the offensive line was opening. 35-6 was the score after Khalil Brown rushed for a 35-yard TD score. St. John found Devin Frenchko for 67 yards and another TD in the second quarter. And then Josh Hernandez added a field goal, and it was 45-6 at the break. Alma in total command of this one. In the third quarter, Scots picked up right where they left off. Eddie Williams' 26-yard TD run to start the third quarter. Jair Harden would strike again, though, capping a big drive for Calvin that resulted in a 2-yard TD run, 52-13. Actually, at that point, Calvin then had a stop on the next defensive possession, but Alma, on Calvin's first play, forced a fumble. Evan Eastman hitting Chase Bradman, and the fumble was recovered by Alma, and they would quickly score again to make it 59-13, and that's the way the third quarter ended. In the fourth quarter, two more Scots touchdowns. By backup running backs, John Allen ran 2 yards for a TD, and Brian Morgan for a 26-yard TD run finished the scoring, making it 73-13 this afternoon. All right, we'll take one more break, and when we come back, give you the final statistics for today and look ahead for Calvin as they move to the second half of the season. That's coming up on the Big East Post-Game Show. You're listening and watching Calvin Sports Network on Michigan Sports Radio and Talk 1230 WTKG.
Join the next generation of global business leaders at Calvin University School of Business, offering 8 undergraduate majors and 2 master's degrees, and exceptional faculty with real-world experience who will partner with you and guide you along the way, and opportunities to participate in internships, study abroad programs, and hands-on learning experiences. This is Calvin University School of Business. Your future begins here.
I love working downtown Grand Rapids, being able to go to class and then come here and do work where the theory that I learned in the classroom really did apply.
I think the Calvin interns, they have this well-balanced background, right? I also think that Calvin does a really nice job preparing them in communication.
I think the Calvin network is phenomenal, and that is a huge help of making me feel comfortable knowing that my education is preparing me super well for the rest of my life. So knowing that I can see people being successful in their lives who went through the same educational system as me is very encouraging.
73-13 today. Alma with a commanding win over Calvin here in Grand Rapids as they win it. Welcome back inside the Big East Post-Game Show. Bob Sack alongside Jason Hutton with you one final time today. Wrap up this one with some stats and a few awards today. Our Paris Motors drive of the game came early in the first quarter. Alma's 8-play, 59-yard drive, capped off with Eddie Williams' 4-yard TD run. I think really set the tone for this one, just showed the command of the offense that Alma had. That's our Paris Motors drive of the game, where their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Statistically, it was a offensive spectacle today by Alma. They roll up 786 yards on 92 plays today. That is just mind-boggling numbers. 382 yards on the ground, combined with a very balanced passing attack as well. Carter St. John throws for 390 today. Eddie Williams rushes for 106. Receiving, Zach Poff with 4 catches for 94 yards and a touchdown. Ty Lauderman with 3 catches. Just a balanced attack all the way around from Alma. It was an absolute offensive show by the Scots, wasn't it tonight, Jason?
It certainly was, and 266 of those yards coming in the second half. That's about a pretty good half of football offensively for Alma, but about half of what they had in the first half. Incredible. For Calvin, 295 yards in total offense today. There were times where they moved the ball. Chase Bradman, 17 of 30 for 151. And Hayden Slager's 3 out of 4 for 14. Jair Harden with 85 yards on 11 carries, much of it on that 65-yard TD run. Receiving, Jude Klunder with 4 catches for 46 yards. So it was just a really impressive win for Alma today as they rolled in all facets of the game. Time now for our players of the game, picked by Jason Hutton and sponsored by State Line. A Straight Line Fence, with over 30 years of building sanctuary and security. Straight Line Fence provides property owners with the privacy, comfort, and confidence of the perfect fence. You got a few guys today you want to point out. Well, it might sound silly in a game that had 86 points and over 1,100 yards of total offense, but I'm going with 2 defensive guys. I thought Caden Kolanowski was really good for Calvin from his safety spot, coming up to support the run, playing coverage as well. Thought he really emerged as a key player for the Knights on the defense today. And then I thought Evan Eastman really made a difference in this game for Alma from his defensive end. He was rushing the passer, he was deflecting passes, he was doing everything you could ask, stopping the run. So Evan Eastman for the Scots.
Time now for our play of the game, presented by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, Capital and Risk Management Services has supported Knight Nation's financial and risk management needs. With strategic solutions for a secure tomorrow, reach out to Russ Klausing at 312-458-4523. Jason, our play of the game.
Well, there wasn't a lot that electrified this crowd on this day, but the 65-yard touchdown run by Jair Harden in the second quarter to make it 29-6. Boy, he found a hole, spun out, and he was gone. Showed the speed, and that was an impressive play.
Knights get a bye week, as does the entire MIAA next week. For your thoughts on Calvin, what do you think the second half of the season looks like as we close here today?
Well, this is where you really kind of find out what you have now. You get a bye, so hopefully you can heal up a little bit, but depth is not something that Calvin has yet, being such a young program, having really just 2 classes. Almost everybody's a freshman, so this is the point of the season where you start to really rely on those guys. You need guys to step up, guys maybe weren't expecting, new guys to fill roles. That's what we'll see in the second half, and we'll kind of find out what Calvin has.
All right, that's going to do it. All kinds of people to thank you for this afternoon's broadcast. We'll certainly want to thank head coach Trent Figg and all his help for us in getting ready for this one. Calvin Athletic Director Jim Timmer, and the outstanding Sports Information Director Jeff Phoebus. Also Alma Sports Information Director Nick Nemeth. Our broadcast crew today, great job. Executive producer Lucas Moore, producers Adam Tozer and Nate Porter, engineers Carl Hordyke and Justin Kendall, and their camera crew and color and sideline people as well. I want to thank Levi Suter, our student sideline reporter, for his work. Also Michigan Sports Radio's executive producer Brock Conkle, and Talk 1230 WTKG's Brett Bakita and Cole Bonilla as well. Thank all of our sponsors today: Skipper and Ostrink, Straight Line Fence, Applied Innovation, Paris Motors, NAI Wasinski, Mercantile Bank, Big E's, Detroit Wing Company, LMC University, and CRM Services. Most of all, though, thank you, the fans, for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us. Been fun today, tough outcome, but certainly a game that will be a building block for the Knights as they move through the rest of the season and really the next few years. That'll do it. Once again, the final score today from Grand Rapids Christian, it was Alma 73 and Calvin 13. We'll see you in 2 weeks on Michigan Sports Radio when Calvin goes to Adrian to resume MIAA play. So long, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.